This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, perfect. All right, so hold on. Start recording, open, add notes, highlight. Okay. So basically, let me just get the disclaimer out because those people when they're going to watch this. First of all, I'm doing no music because I own no music and I don't want no issue about music playing in the background or anything like that. So no music. The second thing is when this video is posted, it's pre-recorded. I tried live before. It didn't work out that great, so I decided forget the live. We'll just record it and then we'll post it. But for this is specifically geared towards filmmakers, actors, and crew and producers. These are going to be general questions. I have a whole bunch of questions that people have been sent me. I wrote down so that way we can kind of go over what we can. And then, of course, I'll kind of edit it from there. And then the biggest disclaimer I want to put out there is these are all general ideals that we all have from our own learning that there's no one way to do anything when it comes to this film industry. We're just going to share our experiences, our ideals, what we've done with the hope that one, we help each other, but two, that it also helps those who are viewing this, who are filmmakers, actors, that somehow something we may say will help them have an idea of how to get started or work out whatever opportunity they need to make their project work. With that being said, just my saying, no matter what we share, you still, as the filmmaker, actor, producer, crew member, you still have to do your own due diligence. So you can't depend on what we're sharing. You're going to have to do your own due diligence in researching and making sure you follow through on what is needed for your project. The other thing is, actors, this is not a platform for you to jump in and just say, you're going to post so that you can get a scene or a role or anything like that. If the opportunity presents itself, then there'll be a posting for actors to submit, but not to post on here, cast me, cast me, cast me, because this is just an opportunity to really just share information. Okay, now that's disclaimers out. My name is Tone Brown. I'm a jack of all trades.
That's right.
I do filming, I do my own casting, I do the editing, I do the producing, and then I work all the degrees possible to get distribution, sell projects, whatever I need to do to make this a true career for me. So that's pretty much what I do. I don't limit myself to anything. Whatever God gives me, I just do it. And just for me, I'm a person that loves God, trusts God, believe in God. So everything, the foundation of everything I am is the base of God Himself, who created me. And I feel like if He gave this to me, He's gonna make sure we have everything we need. So that's it for me in a nutshell. So introduce yourself, lady. Let them know exactly who you are, what you do. Da 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 da.
Okay. Well, my name is Monique Dismuke. I am in the Bay Area, Northern California, actually in Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area. I am a actress, writer. I have a background in journalism. I act. I'm a screenwriter. I also cast. I do a little bit of everything. And my story basically started as just wanting to be an actress, but not getting the roles and going on these auditions where they have nothing for women of color other than being a extra or a party girl. So having a journalism background made me say, I need to start writing. And then once you start writing, it's like, well, how you gonna get it out there? Oh, well, I guess I gotta produce it. So you just kind of I fell into all of these roles just wanting to be an actress. And so a lot of my experience has just been just from moving forward.
Awesome.
That's it.
My name is Shelia Wofford, and I am from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I always say, hey, I'm just down the street from Atlanta. But I am, same here. I think every filmmaker has to be a jack of all trades. So filmmaker, writer, producer, director, and casting agent. But my first love was acting, is acting. And like you, there wasn't many roles for Black women, especially when you're over 50. So my philosophy have always been, if it's not there, then you're going to have to create it yourself.
There you go.
And it forced me to write stories and, produce them and make them myself. And my philosophy is you need to know everything there is behind the camera, not just in front of the camera.
Yes.
So I studied filmmaking, I studied cinematography, anything that I could study that would help. That's what I did. And, just networking with other filmmakers, I have so much respect, and doing what we do to get our dreams out there. It's hard work, and we work our ass off. Sorry, but we do.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
No doubt about that. We work our asses off in every aspect of this. And what I've learned is, talking to different female filmmakers, it's a little more challenging for us because, it's kind of hard for them to really take us more serious behind the scenes. Even in conversations I heard from filmmakers, not heard from directly to me personally, but where I've watched their interviews where they've, talked about how challenging it was for them to get in the industry or to be taken serious in the industry. That's kind of tough for all filmmakers. So I know I've just heard that it's a little more challenging for us. And on some aspects, I will agree, but on the most part, it's really more of how you allow yourself to be portrayed to be taken serious.
Absolutely.
So that's just what I'm thinking of. So I got a few questions from you, but some questions that I've gotten from other people that have sent information to me. I'm doing this on a regular basis with different filmmakers. I'm going to do our actors one coming up. So I'll be doing that one and posting that as well. But one of the questions that came up that I want to start with was what was it that made you feel like you wanted to pursue and be a filmmaker, and what was the steps you took to get you started?
For me, being a filmmaker, God give me these stories, and I'm sure with you ladies as well. It's always in my sleep. And it's truly when God said that you would dream dreams and have visions. I've seen a complete full film as I was sleeping that I had to jump up. I mean, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had to write it down. I had to type it because if not, I would have forgotten it.
Yeah.
But different stories that I have either witnessed from my family or witnessed from different situations with friends. Just different things that I see. I thought, oh wow, that's a story that, in my head it gets going. Now, as an actress, it helps when you're writing stories because you can see these different characters and character development. In terms of a filmmaker, getting everything into play, for me, I think the big thing was surrounding myself with good, dedicated, and honest people. You need somebody to tell you, you know what, the story sounds great, but I see here it's kind of venturing off. You have to be willing to listen.
Yes.
For me, I surround myself with good heart, talented people who are honest and true and will let me know. And just putting it to the paper to get it out there to be seen for folks who are interested. Now, a lot of my demographic is women my age. They're very interested in my stories. And my company, Live to Inspire Productions, I mean, we are committed to making stories of us, of women, mothers, workers in the workforce, neighbors. For me, getting it to the page, that was for me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nice. Well, again, for me, I kind of fell into it, just wanting to just be an actress. And there not being roles out there, but I do come from a background of writing. So I happen to be on a set where, when I was still kind of green, I had actually been in the business years before, got back into it years later, around the time Fruitvale Station came out.
Mm.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
and that's what really kind of, because I had a child and I took a hiatus and raised a child. And when I got back into it around that time, I had to decide if I was going to go, full throttle. If you're going to do it, let's do it. And so going on auditions and realizing that there were no roles for us, but coming from a writer's background, is what kind of led me to that direction. But it's always been someone that in some way spoke a word or said something, like I would be on a job before I even started going on the auditions. A coworker was like, yeah, you should sign up for SF Casting. I do all kind of stuff with them. I'm like, okay, signed up. That's how I got on Fruitvale Station.
And that's the one with Ryan, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yes. And so then there was a friend that I didn't know very well, but was casting something and asked me if I would come help read with the people auditioning. So it put me on the other side of the table where I had never been before. And I liked it. I'm like, oh, okay. Other than just, thinking that I can write, getting on the other side of the table. And just being on different sets where sometimes, I was able to bring the resources and help people cast it, but they weren't able to deliver. And that one actress walking past saying, Monique, you could have produced this better yourself. And I'm like, ding, 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 just little things like that. It just kind of led me to believe, like, you know what, you're right, because I got all you down here. I provided this, I provided that. Only thing I'm not doing is producing it. So, and being on set, so I was the light bulb really came on. I was on a set where it was a 24-hour set. I was still green, just got back into the business. And I told another friend of mine to audition, and she came and got some lines. So, this one of those 24-hour sets where they're doing a contest, you may never see it. But at that time, I didn't know, I'm still green. So my friend came and she got lines, and she came to me and she said, did you get any lines? I'm like, no. So, it's 24 hours. So a couple of hours later, she came back and said she went to the producer and asked the producer, and the producer was like, yeah, sure. A couple hours later, she came back, asked me. By the third time, I was like, you know what? How about the fact that I'm a writer? And I don't have to beg for lines. I don't have to beg for lines. I can write something and I don't have to be the star. I can be the waitress saying, can I take your order?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because I'm okay with now knowing how to work both ends. I can be behind the scenes. I know what it's like. I work for a school district. I know what it's like to spend money on craft service and pay for location. I've paid some dues to where I fed 40, 50 people, and I went home. I didn't have no food in my refrigerator. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat.
We know that one. Yeah.
But because I couldn't pay them, I had to feed them.
Right.
So there's all kind of stuff that you just learn.
Right.
And the realization is Hollywood is not going to come and knock on my door and say, girl, where you been? We've been looking for you. They're not looking for us.
Right.
So if we don't come up with our own stories and produce our own, they'll never know.
That's right. And us as all filmmakers, we have to take care of our cats. We have to feed them because a lot of times you can't pay them. You can't. Starting out, you cannot pay them, but you're good to them. You feed them. You make sure they're taken care of, and then you offer them something like a cup of the real and the IBD credit. So
yeah, absolutely. All the fair things that you can give.
Right.
Because that's just right. It's people sometimes that travel from different places just to be in your short, know. So I appreciate people, and I am the type that really tries to communicate with people. You're not trying to be everybody's friend, but I'm going to be real with everybody and just be who I am. And I want to make everybody feel comfortable, because I've been on those sets where nobody, you know, they're cliquish or nobody knows you, or, you know, and they, you know, when people come on my set, I introduce people. I try to choose people that are already in the arts. So, you know, I let them know, oh, this person does this person does, you know, so maybe y'all, I don't have a problem with people networking, and I want everybody to feel comfortable, because we got to be able to enjoy this time that we're spending together, because it's hurry up and wait for a long time sometimes.
I agree. Yes.
Wow. All right, well, I'll keep mine simple because I've done it before. So I know when people watch the videos, they're going to hear my same conversation. But basically for me, I fell into it as well. My start was basically God gave me a novel. I wrote the novel on my job during downtime. It took me like 3 hours to write the novel. It was Rough Patch, Twisted Fates. And once I finished the novel, you know, I shared it with different co-workers to read for me. A couple of good friends, you know, they enjoyed it, they liked it. And then I started building a fan club, social media. There's this website called meetup.com. And I would go there and go to book clubs, and then I would introduce myself, my book, and then I somehow end up building a good fan base. And one of the book clubs, one of the fans actually said, we would love to see these characters in film. So I was like, oh, yeah. So I started researching, trying to figure out a way how to get a filmmaker. Well, everybody I looked into was basically trying to see to steal my script story, change my script, put their name on the script story, and
that one there.
Me $50,000 to $300,000 to do something that I knew I couldn't afford to do. So, of course, in prayer, seeking God, well, if I did this, how on earth would I do it? And, you know, I don't want to be ripped off. And it's just like, it just seemed like everybody in the industry was just looking for a way on how to make it theirs instead of trying to help me just make it happen. So I was at a book club, and I was, talking to different fans, and, they're, of course, talking about the different characters, what they love about the characters. And I was just sharing with them, this is what I was running into. And so one fan just blurted out, well, do it yourself. And I was like, oh, okay.
Hello, right.
So from there, I just went to YouTube, started searching YouTube.
Yes.
And I watched everything about YouTube. Then I started going to the library. I rented out every book on filmmakers, read Spike Lee's book, Steven Spielberg's book, and just really just learned what they did. And then it helped me understand what they went through trying to get it done. So it helped me to understand and know what to expect, whether people liked what I was doing or didn't like what I was doing. So it kind of mentally put me in the right mindset of not feeling like I didn't know what I was doing. So it kept me from being in the position of people taking advantage of me for not knowing. So then I met a couple of people on Facebook, actually, that were filmmakers, and they became my crew at the beginning. And one of them, her name just happened to be Janae, and I was Tone. So we started off where we were going to be a team, actually. And I have to give credit where credit's due. She went on Craigslist, got me a whole crew of people, and then she put together contracts and gave me contracts for everybody to sign. So I have to say, if it wasn't for her, a lot of actors and crew members would have had the opportunity to have taken advantage of me, because I had a couple of actors that didn't like the way I did things, so they pursued with a cease and desist order, so I couldn't film them anymore after we had already filmed. So things like that started happening. Actors getting upset for whatever their reasons was because I wasn't complying to what they thought I should, or I didn't have equipment the way they thought it should be as far as a big production. I'm like, well, what are y'all looking for? So they were getting their little attitude situations that would make things harder. So I found myself recasting multiple times for my very first project that there was a 25 actor project that ended up being 63 actors that was in it in some kind of way because I was recasting. Because
Yeah.
even though I do contracts are more so to protect me than
Yes. Yes.
anything.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned across my journey is people come in very, very kind, but they'll flip that script at any moment on you, and then you'll find yourself in a situation where, you know, either they'll have the upper hand to take advantage of your situation
Yes.
or stop your production. And I had been reading people's filmmakers posts on social media where they were talking about I filmed all this project, and then the editor um, uh, sabotaged it, or the editor held it hostage for money. They
Right.
had some type of agreement at the beginning where it wasn't going to be no money. But, as the thing developed,
Yes.
the opportunity was a way for them to get money. So they would end up holding them sabotage. And then I would hear actors talking about, well, I did all this filming, but I don't have nothing to show that I filmed. But that wasn't the fault of the filmmaker. It was the
Right.
fault of the process.
Right.
So everything that you see me posting doing now is all from protecting myself
Sure.
Yeah.
to make sure that nobody was taking advantage of my process or what I have felt like I was accomplishing by, shutting it down. So because I had contracts in place, I was able to, hey, just let them go. And I use those contracts to this very day. I have my loophole. If we're not a fit and we're not working together, then it's time for us to, go different directions because
Right.
you're not on the same page that I am anymore. Yeah, you asked, you begged, you pleaded, cast me. But then when I cast you, you became chaos for me. And I am not about chaos in any form.
Right. Right.
So because I'm not, that gives me the opportunity to say, hey, keep it moving. I'll just go ahead and just go in a different direction. And I've
There you
allowed
go.
myself to accept going in a different direction because what I've come to learn is that, God already knew who was going to be in the first
Mhm.
place. I
Mhm.
just had to do a couple of bumps and bruises, choosing who I wanted instead of who God tells me. So now
Mhm.
my strategy is no matter who asks me to cast them, I let them audition, but I let them, even if I cast them, I let them sit a while because I'm trying to let them show me who they truly are.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that way I'm not on set dealing with a mess, and nature can be a mess sometimes and it will cause you not to be able to get it done. So from that, I learned uh, how to write. I went studied Sid Fields on YouTube, and that taught me how to, put the script into the right format. I had
Right.
one of the people that I met through the Craigslist who sat with me, and we went through that script and broke it down. Then once we got the script ready, I had the a crew put together, but a week, 4 days before we were actually supposed to film, they all sent me a message and said I quit. We ain't even got started yet,
Oh,
but they
Wow.
quit. But they quit because I was too organized. They felt like they knew more than me because I didn't know anything, and they didn't like me controlling my own project. So I'm
Right.
like, well, okay, that's fine. So
Yeah.
then I just seeked God and I said, okay, now that these people have quit, what do I do? And so God led me to some people that got me started. I actually had a lady drive all the way to Atlanta from Philadelphia to film with me the weekend, and she happened to be a PA and no AD, not PA, AD, and
Mhm.
she had worked on HBO. And she taught me from A to Z how to run a set and keep it smooth.
mm-hmm.
Wow.
And
Yes.
that was the beginning lesson for me to learn how to run a set. And we started on time. We took our breaks, we took our lunch, and we ended on time. And we got everything done. But what ended up happening is all these extra crew members that I thought was there to help came to just be able to say they were part of the project. And they
Mm.
weren't helping. They were sitting in the kitchen on their laptops, doing social media. They weren't helping to keep the
Yeah.
cast fed. They weren't helping on the equipment. So I just told everybody to go home. and and then kept the ones that were really, true to the production. And then I had them teach me what they from their education.
Right.
And then I had the one that was my camera guy teach me how to use the camera. And we went and we sat for about 3 hours, and he went through that camera and showed me exactly what I needed to do. And after that, every time I learned that there was a piece of equipment that needed, I learned how to use it myself. So I literally became a one-person crew member.
Right.
So
That's
because
right.
every time you would get a crew person, either they didn't show up, or they had to leave early, or they weren't about getting the right production done. And
Right.
I'm a stickler. If I'm gonna put it out there, I'm gonna put it out there right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't want
And no half
anybody on,
stepping. No half
yeah, and I
stepping.
didn't want anybody on my team that did not want to be there.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason I left the loophole of, if you don't want to be there, it's okay for you to step out and go away.
Right.
I'm not gonna
Right.
hold,
No hard feelings. No. Yeah. We're not
none of
gonna
that.
argue. We're
When
not
I
gonna fall out. None of that.
Yeah, so when I
Go
cast
in a different direction.
when I cast a person, when I bring on a crew member, when I bring on equipment of anybody, I always give them that out, because, like I said early on, the contracts are for me to make sure you don't come back and try to sue me or take advantage of my production because you got whatever attitude you've gotten into. So
Mhm.
people always ask, well, why are you always recasting? Because I don't want you there if you don't want to be there. So
Absolutely.
the contract I put you on is to make sure you don't come back and mess me over. Because when I got that deceased order from one of the actors,
Wow.
she was pretty bad for me to deal with. I ain't even gonna lie. I cried, and my feelings was very hurt by her actions, because
Right.
not only did she do the deceased order, I had the fortunate thing, I had her on contract on the first film, but because I loved working with her, I had already started filming with her on a couple other films, which I did not do the contract with, which was a lesson from me. That I ended up having to redo that entire project and rename it just to complete it. But she not only did the deceased order, but she called everybody that was on my project to tell us
No.
how bad of a filmmaker I was. And she created something. Nobody's never told me what it was, but she created something to make them believe that I was this bad person, that I wasn't somebody to work with. So the actors, they started quitting and going separate directions. Some of them even was like, I can't even work with you anymore. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I accept that because I got contract. You quitting does not stop what I'm going to do. It
Right.
stops you from working with me. And that's the separation you have to put as a filmmaker when you're working with actors or crew. They're there to help you get something done. You're not there for them. But we can make it a team effort if we're willing to work together. But when your attitude changes, then
Right.
I give you the option to choose who you can work with. You're going to work with Tone, who's so nice. Or you can work with Tone Brown, and I'm going to flip the script on you, and you're going to become so business-like that you're not going to know what hit you. And when I become very business-like, you out.
Mhm.
I ain't got time for it.
Exactly.
So the long story short, to how I got into it, it was writing a book, learning through YouTube, and then as I built my own projects, then somebody led me to what I call the 12 wise men, because I don't want people to go after them trying to get into their projects or getting them mentoring them and then try to push me out. Because that's one of the things I've learned early on is, when you're dealing with other filmmakers, everybody's pushing to get in there. Not everybody has the same integrity as I do. So they can, charm me, call me brilliant, be polite towards me, tell me I want to network with you, but I have to determine what their true motives are. Are they really trying to get in with me, or are they trying to get in with what I got going on? So I have to learn. So I have to learn to have the what is the word? Discernment. Yeah, I have to have the discernment to know who I'm dealing with. So when people say to me, hey, I want to network with you, my question is, what does networking to you mean? Before I let it get close to my circle, because I protect my 12 wise men just as much as they protect me. And through them, I've learned how to be a filmmaker at a different level than what I did on my own. And I love that.
Right.
That's similar to my story. It's similar to me. YouTube is my best friend.
Yes.
You can learn, I mean, anyone can, but you have to be dedicated. But
yeah,
I went to YouTube to learn how to run a camera, filmmaking, size, angles, anything you can think of. That's what I did. Because I didn't have the money to go to these institutions. I didn't, you know, just didn't have the money. But you are so right.
Yeah.
Some people will befriend you to know your knowledge, to know what your ideals are. It's happened to me many times. I thought I could trust people. And I was saying, you know, I got this idea that I want to, you know, I'm going to write about it. And I'm telling them everything. Girl, not knowing wolves in sheep clothing. And next thing I know, I see stuff out on social media that they're doing. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Your story that you shared with them, I've had that happen a few times. Yeah, but here's what I come to learn on that, Sheila, and that is, don't worry about that, because here's the thing. They don't have what God has put in you for that story. And and this is what I shared the last time. They don't have that, but your story would be so defined by who you are, and it's going to reach viewers that only you can reach. They may share the same story, but tell it in a different form, but it'll be a story for their platform. So don't never allow yourself to get hung up on if somebody knows your idea. I even have a that I wrote that is in its season now, that somebody took from me.
Wow.
Exactly. But you know, we're getting to the point now where we're going to have some retro, what do you call it? Funds coming back to me from it. So we're in the process of working that out. But you know, don't let your, well, I'm sharing that to say, don't allow yourself to get hung up on people stealing your ideas, because they may steal a portion or a thought of your ideal, but it's never your ideal.
They don't know where you are going to go with it, or where you could go with it.
Right. And then God, you know, it's just like the leopards. God gave all of these leopards these ideals. It was just a matter of who did what with those ideals. Some buried it, some multiplied it.
Right.
So I look at this the same way. God gave that ideal to them. It's a little spin-off from my thought, but it's still their ideal. So let them go do what they need to do. And then my mentor taught me, you know, you can't allow your mental thought to get caught up on all that stuff, because it blocks you.
It does.
And you stump on your writing, you stump on your producing, because you're now operating in fear instead of all the juices that God has given you.
Right. I had to let it go. I had to let it go, and I just have to focus on, I can't worry about them. I wish them well. God has given me all these amazing creative ideas, and I have to just go. I have to do. And you're right, Tanae. The contracts is what my contracts, a tight seal, because I have had an actor or two to quit on me on the last day of shooting. It wasn't anything with me and them. It was what was going on in their household, that they just couldn't come that last day to shoot. The last maybe 3 hours to shoot. So those contracts are, and I'm glad you touched on that.
Yeah, but also keep in mind, you are the writer. So if they, sometimes it's not them not showing up. Sometimes it's me just tell them don't come. Because if you know, if I have to do 10 scenes with you to get one line, that scene wasn't for you in the first place.
No, it wasn't.
And then if you are, and if you have no commitment to that character, that you're going to tell me you can't make it, or you want to tell me what your schedule is after we done worked out the schedule. Now all of a sudden you want to change the schedule because I filmed you. You think I got that? How do I put it? You think because I filmed you, I'm stuck with you. But
Right.
I'm like, no, I would just redo it. I'll recast and refilm with a new
Right.
actor. I've done that multiple times. So
Yeah.
because if you're not committed to that character from beginning to end, to me, you're just not really sincere to the character or this project. So why would I keep you in it? You're not going to promote it anyway.
Right.
And that goes back to, like you said, like those people that are opportunists, the ladder, people that are looking for the ladder, because everybody is gung ho when they get the role. But it's because social media and everything that's going on, people think that, we're going to make it overnight. We're going to film it and I'm going to be this, and sometimes it takes a minute. And sometimes people feel like it's going too slow.
Yeah.
So now they're like, ugh, I don't even feel like it, and that also goes into, it's me starting out before I met a lot of actors, but then, you meet people, they'll bring other people with them. And I've learned you don't get so-and-so because that's somebody's cousin down the street, or, because they don't get it. They don't understand. They're ready to leave. They don't understand the hurry up and wait. And like you said, once they film you, now they think you need them. When in fact, I'm actually giving you an opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We can always go in a different direction. And I learned that from another writer. When you got the writer on set, baby, all they got to do is rewrite it real quick.
Rewrite it. Yes. 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 I
And
love
keep
it.
it moving. And it's not personal, it's business. And like Tone said, if somebody doesn't want to be there, I don't want you there. I don't need your energy, because we all need to be on one plane. We need to be, whether we're on different levels, we got to still be going upward for the same thing. Whether it's my project or your project, you still got to want what you're in to be great.
Absolutely.
And that's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
And it comes down to, some people are looking for instant gratification,
That's true.
opposed to the people that eat, sleep, and drink this daily and understand it's a process.
That's why I always remind actors. I post the stuff that I post. And me and Sheila kind of talked a little bit earlier, because we both was kind of here a little bit before you joined us. And that is just simply, you have to have a commitment to be able to be part of any project. And because we're on social media, they feel entitled, and they feel, and that we're so accessible to them, they think that we need to comply to them. And I'm letting it known before you work with me, that ain't gonna happen, because I am the creator. I am the one that's putting everything together for you to show up to film. So I don't feel like you can come in and tell me how to do what I've already done. Your job is to come in to be the actor, not producer or anything, because you haven't done anything behind the scenes. I've done everything.
In your lane.
I've got the location for you to show up to. I got the catering ready for you to eat.
Come on now.
Already written for you to do, and with the lines, everything's done. So all you're doing is showing up to perform, and that's not to negate how talented an actor is and what they bring to the table, but that does not give them the right to come in and tell me how to do what I've already done, then cause any type of delays. Yes, I am accessible. Yes, I am a filmmaker that you happen to see and ask to work with. So what I purposely do, that I had shared with her, is I will cast, but I'll let you sit there for a few months so that your true self can come out. Because so we come in gun ho, but after you get impatient, you said, they would die down and they won't see the value in it. Well, I want you to not see the value in it, so I can see that you're not of value.
Right.
That way, if you stick with it with full force, then I know that you're committed. Then we can take off when we run. Then I know when you show up the set, oh, we're gonna get this thing done. You done, that means you done studied your lines. That means you're ready to work. And like I said early on, if I got to do it 10 times with you, that means you didn't take it serious. You just kind of played around with it and then say, oh, here I am. And then I have to read your lines to you. You know how long it takes for me to go from line to line? That's not only a challenge mentally for me, because I know I got all these other lines I need to, scenes that need to be done before the end of the day. but I'm spending all this time with you, which I'm flexible to do. But if you're really true into being an actor on the bigger set,
Yes.
use this as a training ground to hone your craft to get
Yeah.
better on set
Yep.
as well, you know. And so I just decided that, you know, I'm paying attention, just like I ask actors, pay attention to what I'm putting out there. I'm paying attention to you too. I'm
Yeah.
looking at social media. I'm looking at what you posting, and if you're posting all this personal stuff, then your life is too busy to be on this set.
Right.
But if I see
Be a
that,
little too emotional.
yes, but if I see that you're really trying to show that you're trying to be an actor, then I know you've taken it serious enough that I will consider you. Just because you post on my page or send me an inbox, I'm not considering you until you've shown me somehow you're going to be an actor that I can take serious, who will take me serious as your director or filmmaker.
Right.
The bottom line there.
You know, actors and talent that shows up to my set unprepared, that is, and for any actors out there that sees this, that is the biggest disrespect to a filmmaker, and not just the filmmaker, the crew and your co-actors, your team, the cast. Everyone should be prepared. Everyone should be professional. And when actors get to set, that is not a time to socialize. It is not. Say hello, but get into your mindset, get to yourself, you know, get into that character. And I find you really can tell who's trained and who's professional when they come.
Absolutely.
Because I'm telling you, they can blow you away in audition. And like you today, I do look at their social media. I do. I really try to look at everything I possibly can to make a good decision. Well, they killed the audition. Let me go back and look at social media to make sure they're not crazy, you know, take care of that. But just come prepared. That's the least you can do. Don't
Yes.
waste the filmmaker's time. Come prepared because it's money being lost if you're not.
Yes. Yes. And I hate to waste people's time. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want
Right.
everybody, because it's already going to be a process. So, you know, in between, you know, all the chatter, you know, we got to be able to move. And then that's when you have that tight crew where they can make sure, and, you know, so everybody has a lane. But hopefully, you know, you can get a good crew, and you guys all work together like a machine. If not, you gotta, you know, keep kind of looking for those links. And sometimes that's just it. You know, different projects may calls for different people,
Right.
but it all has to be a certain energy where we're all on the same page.
Well,
Absolutely.
I don't do a crew, period.
You know, you're a one show now, you know.
You can talk to any of my actors, and I'll be, like I said, I'm gonna do a one of these video chats with some actors, but I do everything on that set. I'm just blessed with actors that are willing to be flexible with me, to move the lights, to help me carry the camera around. But my experience with crew has not been very positive in a way where, not saying that they weren't good, they were good, but one, their expectations were a little different, a little off to what I'm doing. And then two, sometimes they don't take the instructions. They want to tell you how it should be done. But I have the vision in my head of how I want things done. So I need to, so until I find crew members that can, you know, coincide with and sync with my brain and how I want to see things done, I'm not doing crew. And then I don't like when crew tells me, oh, I can be here this day and that day. No, you need to be there for the full duration of the project if you can be part of the project. You can't pick your days. I will work with you the best I can, but it takes too much to try to get a crew, cast, and yourself all in sync to run a production for however many days you need to do it. So I know how I'm going to run it. As if Ava DuVernay or Tyler Perry, you're going to change your schedule and just show up and be there all day. Even if you complain, you're going to be there all day. So for me, I'm not going to give you that right to tell me that's how it's going to be. And so I believe that's what's made many actors, our crew members, upset with me because, because I'm accessible, they think they can kind of tell me things. And when I don't allow them to, then they're upset with me.
Got you.
And I just
Right.
be upset because my bottom line is I have to get to the end result of a completed production. And
Right.
because I have set that up for myself to do that, I'm sorry, I got wild cats at my window. They love to hear me talk. And the other night I had one just climb up my screen and just stuck it all
Oh
for a
my
ball. And I'm like,
God.
can you go away? But anyway, so I just kind of just made a decision that I just can't do crew right now. When I get to my bigger projects, I will definitely do crew. But
Mhm.
right now, just to make sure I get it done, I just have to, I just pace myself, my schedule. I've owned all the equipment that it takes to film. Over the years, I would buy whatever I needed to buy, whatever I learned to get, and I
And that
own
was
everything. And I set everything up before everybody shows up
Right.
so that all we have to do is just move it from scene to scene to scene to
Right.
get it done. But I do not do crew until I meet crew members that are dedicated and on the same page that I am. That's important to me. And I believe with all my heart, because I made that decision, that's what opened up the doors for me to be taken serious as a
oh,
filmmaker in Hollywood
absolutely.
with the filmmakers that I'm working with now, because they saw if she's committed enough to get it done, they don't care about how you
What
got
about
it done.
nobody? Right.
All they want to see is, do you got a finished product? And I
Yeah.
like yes. And then I had end up having like 15 at this time. I had 15 short films completed,
Mhm.
and so they started, just inquiring about me. So without my knowledge, they were showing from through my friend who told them about me. They were showing up to my set and watching me work from a distance.
Oh,
And then
wow.
they learned how I was, doing things. Then they were like, okay, she's serious. Let's go on and bring her in. So then that's how they brought me in to work on go through a training with them to
Mhm.
be doing what I'm doing today. And
Got
to
you.
answer your question, one because you gave me several questions, I was like, oh my God, how are we going to address all these questions? So we're going to address what we can. And one of your questions was, how do you get into the bidding world? How do you get your budget done? How do you get your films to be in association with people that can help you? It is a due diligence, Monique. It is a
Mhm.
due diligence, and it is finding a way. Because you're in California, so you want to know how you can get associated with other people. Um, Finding first of all, change your friends, Monique.
Well, it's not that. It's
No,
not that.
hear me out, hear me out.
Okay. Okay.
Change your friends, and what I mean by that is, on your social media or create a page where you only bring in people that are in the state you're in, so that way you see who's doing what, and then build a relationship with that way. So that way, when you have events, you all can come in together, talk about what's going on, because you got to get the people that are in your area, and then know at least 5 things that are important to you. What are the 5 values you have? So when you talk to people, whether they're
Mhm.
actors, filmmakers, whatever genre in the industry, there's 5 things you need to be looking for, and you need to determine what are those important things are. So if they align with that before you fool with them. What is their integrity? What is their ethics? What is their commitment to the industry? What are their values and their relationships to keeping a relationship? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
are they dependable or accountable? If they're not any of those things, and you'll recognize that real quick and in a hurry when you start talking to them. If they're not any of those things, and then pick your own. That's just for me. Pick your
Yeah.
own. And then if they don't fall in line with those things that are important to you, then you should not be working with them, because they're going to prevent you from accomplishing, because they're going to get in the way. And you have to know those things first about yourself before you can pick your cast, your crew, or your actors. Because if you don't, then they're going to come in and they're going to scatter everything and make it difficult for you. Does that make sense? Kind of, sort
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see a
Okay.
question in your face, though.
So as far as As far as people with budgets or people that would oversee projects, is that what you mean, or you're speaking more on a crew level?
I'm talking about all levels, because you have
Okay,
to think about whoever you deal with, even if they're the investor in your project. What is their integrity level? Are they going to tell you they're going to do it and then something don't go right and then they
got
decide
you,
not to? So
got
the
you, got
question, so the question is, what do you want to deal with? When I read your questions, all I heard in all your questions narrowing down is you're looking so outward that you're not realizing what's inward, because everything you need is already on the inside of you,
you.
and
Right.
you're so outward for somebody to do that you're missing what you can actually do. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay,
It
so
does.
let's break that down just a little bit. So let's say budgeting. You know, you should know your own budget. Nobody should tell you about your budget, and your budget is what do you need to get the project finished. So you make a list of what do you need to get that project finished. And as I
Mhm.
shared in my other group of interview, and that was when you do your project, you make a list of what you need. Don't look for money. That's when I always post what I post on Facebook. If you come
Uh-huh.
to me about money, I'm done with you already. I already know it's a business, you need to get paid. I already know that it takes a budget to get a project done, but I'm not going to let you tell me what I'm going to pay you. I'm not going to let you tell me what my budget is, because I know that. I'm the one that
Mhm.
wrote the script. I know what needs to be done. I know what my location looks like. I know all those things. So why do I need you to, if you're telling me what you need already before I even cast you, you don't need to be cast by me, because you already know what you're doing. So if you
Mhm.
already know what you're doing, if you want to tell me what I should be doing, then you need to be doing your own production.
Right.
You don't need to get
I'm
on.
I'm thinking more on, like, I have scripts. Like, everything that I write is not something that I want to film. And
Mhm.
so there are things that I want to get out there and figure out how to sell them. So my thing is, how do you get to those gatekeepers? Like, I have a friend who's a lawyer. He's in Atlanta. I met him years ago when I used to sing. He's affiliated with Jeff Clanagan. Jeff Clanagan is the guy that kind of, well, not kind of, he produced Kevin Hart's first um, comedy special. So I met this lawyer friend of mine in LA, and we went to the Laugh Out Loud, you know, Heart Radio building in Hollywood in LA. And we sat down, and it was a very informal meeting. I sat down with Jeff because they are old friends. So he sat down. It was very informal. And basically, his advice to me was, you need to make shorter things. Instead of trying to make these feature films, you need to get like on that Issa Rae, make these shorter films and just get enough under your belt, because it is all about numbers. And I get that. But at the same time, how do I still, knowing that I have a catalog and I'm not trying to film everything, how do I get someone like that, even though he was giving me some good advice, to back some of these things? I even have a cousin. His first name is Brett. Last name is the same as mine. He deals with Swirl Films, and he has a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta. And I've given him scripts, and he pulled me to the side and was like, "Look, cuz, I feel like he might want to help me, but it's like, when do people step in to help you?" He told me, I gave him a script, and he said, "I'm gonna send you a format to do treatments. You can't give people 120-page scripts.
That's
You
true.
got to give them a treatment, because it's less than 10 pages, because nobody has time to sit up and read that. So
Mhm.
what you do is you give them something that's going to pique their interest. And then if they want it, then, maybe they'll come with a budget, or send you in the right way to pitch it to somebody that can possibly back it or might possibly want to buy it." And so that's where I'm at. I don't want to film everything I write, but I want to find out the pipeline on how do I get into those doors to where people are interested. Now, besides that, I'm also in a group called Film Fatales. It is a group of nothing but women film directors. You have to have directed a feature film. And they have chapters in LA, they have a chapter in Atlanta, and it's all females. Now, out of this group of all females, 90% of them, pretty much, 98% of them are documentary filmmakers. I'm pretty much one of the only narrative filmmakers. Not to mention, I'm one of the only women of color. I'm in a group with like 80 to 90 white women, and I am the only one, and I'm the co-chapter leader because they needed some diversity, so they moved me to the front very quickly. Which is great when I send out that email and I give that pitch because I'm the co-chapter leader of blah, blah, blah. Okay, but still, you know, and I sit in these meetings with them, and one of them, she just did she's doing a documentary on these two older white women that are like 100 and 101. I can't think of their names right now, but they're on YouTube. They're already famous. They already have a following. So she's doing a documentary. So in one of our meetings, she was saying how she didn't want to pitch it to any of her friends and family. She wanted to kickstart to people that didn't know who she was first. And within the first day, she had 50,000.
Wow.
Okay. And so when they talk about these documentaries, they're getting money. They're, you know, they easily fill out these, you know, when I look at the spark and seed, or, you know, things, just the application is overwhelming. So it's like, how do you get past, you know, it even though I'm in the same group with them, it seems so much easier for them. Even though we all supporting each other.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone to a meeting where I only needed $200. Right. I've gone to a meeting with them. I only needed $200 to finish my editing. And by the end of the meeting, they all, well, you can come by my job. You know, I can give you, I mean, I left out of there with $190. You know, they have money. These are older, married, white women. And please forgive me because I don't mean it in that kind of way. But even though we're all women, it just seems like their path is so much easier. But they're doing documentaries, and so even when we have these meetings, their lingo and, you know, a lot of the stuff they're saying, I don't even really understand, and I'm trying to grasp a lot of it. But, you know, they go to the Sundance and all these, you know, they're going to these film festivals, and it's nothing for them. And I'm like, well, dang, how do I?
I have a question
I
for
just
you.
want somebody to read my treatment. Can I just get somebody to?
I have a question for you. I heard everything you said, but I have a
Yes,
question for you. Out of all those women, who are you seeing being recognized as a big named person? I hear the money, but who's a big name? Who's a success? Who's a success story?
I can't say any of them are a success story.
Your answer right there. Then that takes me back to the beginning. You're looking outward instead of inward.
Okay.
You're looking for resources instead of being the resource. That's the reason I don't bother. That's the reason I personally, I don't bother with film festivals. I don't bother with none of that stuff, because to me, that's ego feeding. That's titlements. I'm not looking to be titled. I'm not looking to be filling my ego. I'm looking to get a production completed.
Okay.
That's it. So if it takes my money to do it, then it takes my money to do it. I'm not looking for resources, but because I chose to do it the way I do it, they don't see me needing them. So they're providing for me because I'm showing production. So people want to invest in productions that they know that's going to be an investment to get a return. You know, people with money, they may not want their name on it, but they want to know that it's going to be a completed production and it's worth their investment. They want to know that there's going to be an end result. So I don't look for money at all. That's when people come to me talking about how do I get the money, because I don't look for the money.
I mean, I feel I still move forward as an independent filmmaker and it's still making, still, of course, we can't film right now, but I'm still making things.
Mhm.
And I have the resources and the, people with the equipment that I can work with, and we can still get things done. It's just once it's done, what do we do with it?
You distribute it any way you can, and don't and distribute. Okay,
But
distribute.
distribution at this point
But,
doesn't always
but
mean
hear me out. Let me answer your question.
yes.
Distribution is not always being on television. Distribution is not always being on Netflix or Amazon or any of those things. Distribution is getting your project in front of eyes.
Mm.
So you got to look at it differently than what Hollywood has presented to you. Because here's the thing, Hollywood is coming looking for you right now because Hollywood is shrinking. See, the big dogs that were all the headshots where everybody had to come through to get money to film a project is not happening anymore because there's so many independent filmmakers that are creating their own Roku pages, their own websites, their own YouTube channels. They're doing what is necessary to get their project in front of eyes. So you're looking at the old way that it was done instead of what we're doing today. So that's why when I read all your questions, that's when I said my focus for you is to help you look differently at what you're accomplishing because you are accomplished. We already get that. You wouldn't be talking to me right now if I didn't feel you were accomplished. But what I'm hearing from you, even when you sent me private messages, what I'm hearing from you is you're looking so outside of yourself, you can't see the benefit of who you are. Everything you need, God has already put on the inside of you. There, you're no different, no less than any of us. You've already got everything you need in you. You are the resource. Whether it's your money or somebody else's money, you are the resource. And that's what I recognized early on, that I'm just trying to make sure, whether you're a male or female filmmaker, it don't matter.
Right.
Just to know that if God has given you this skill and this talent, whether you got it through YouTube or through a college degree, you got a talent.
Mm-hmm.
You got stories in your head that you got a fan base. You just got to respect the base you're in. Your
Right.
base will grow in its time. These big movie producers and stuff, they were where we were at one time. They just got a hit, but they still the same way. And even those who've had one hits, they still trying to figure out. Look at Spike Lee. He's got a lot of things going on, but he's always trying to get money for his projects. And he gets projects out there, but they still get canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all the same. It's just a matter of what do we have going on right now that can make that hit for people to want. So don't think about yourself at all. Think about your viewers. What is your story that you're trying to give out to touch those people that are following you? Because whatever story you're telling, they want you. And if they love what you're doing, they're going to support you. So stop looking outside yourself. So here's a couple of tips that I can share with you. Number one, don't be afraid to put your money in your own project. It's yours. You will have the return. Yeah, I understand.
I know.
The second thing is don't look for the money, look for the person that can help get you what you need to get it done. Whether that is a sponsor, because what I did is I looked for sponsors. I went to McDonald's, I went to Chick-fil-A, I went to Costco's. Costco gave me a credit of $1,500 so that I can go and shop anytime I need to feed my cast and crew. I went to McDonald's. McDonald's fed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I went to Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A provided the cast and the crew breakfast and lunch. So I didn't go trying to get money to feed them. I went to get sponsors to provide us what we needed to eat. See the difference?
That's good. That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, and then you got your cast and you got your crew. We're a team. So if you get the right cast and the right crew of team people, then you say, hey, bring a dish. Everybody bring a dish. Guess what? We got enough food to feed everybody. Sometimes for 2 or 3 days of the set. See what I mean? So stop looking for somebody to give you this big budget and be the budget. Just
Right.
determine what it is you need, and then go look for who can have what you need. And if you're in a position to know people who do have money, like you've described, then put yourself together an elevator speech.
Mm.
An
Yeah.
elevator speech, 1 minute, no more than 3 minutes. That's to tell who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, and what's the end result you need. You're a filmmaker, what type of filmmaker you are, what your accomplished goal is for that filmmaker, and then this is the end result. In order to get this project done, this is what's needed. What are you able to contribute or willing to contribute? That's, when you get around people that are millionaires, that have money, they need you, they want to invest in you because they need write-offs. So don't look at it for yourself, look at it for them. They want to write it off. Well, what can they do for you, for them to write it off, that they're willing to give you the money? They don't care about their names. See, people thinking, oh, I'm trying to get all this money. No, I know they don't care about their names, being on the project. They just want to write it off. But I have to show them and prove to them I can give them a finished project where their investment was worth an investment. Because when they go to the IRS to say I invested, what did you invest in? Well, I can't say I invested $300,000 in a project that never got done. That's a loss.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
projects that you've completed, take those projects and put it in your completed style, and then create a portfolio that these are completed. Even though they're done, they're filmed, you can still do a treatment on it. Your treatment can be 10 pages, but try to do your treatment 3 to 5 pages or less. So that way you're what's the power of the character? Your antagonist or your protagonist? Which one are you going to elevate? That's who your focus should be on. Okay, I am going to do a video on that. I just have to put my mind to it so that I can make sure I'm giving the correct information on it to what you present. But the main thing is, what's the power in the story you're trying to tell that you want them to believe in, to invest in? What's the power of the character? How driven is the storyline of your character?
Right.
That is very important in any project that you do. That's for the actor to love the character, to want to give that character as much of them as they can, but also to give the audience something to want to come back and watch.
Right.
Those are the things you need to be thinking about when you're doing your script. That character, it doesn't matter about the cast of actors or anything. What is it about that character that you can tell the story about that will make them love that show? Because
Okay.
if you pay attention to why you like a show, that's how you should be writing your story. Because
Right.
there's people like you loving that show too. So to
Yeah.
make them love your show, what is it about that show that's going to draw them into that character to invest themselves into it?
Yep.
Does it make sense what I'm sharing?
Perfect sense.
Okay. Now, does it make sense what I'm explaining to you about the resource? I answer that question enough?
And you know what? It's something I already know, but sometimes you gotta hear it
From
from
somebody else.
somebody else.
Because my question to you was budget, because I use my own money and it gets done. My projects have been done. And I thought, well, maybe there's another way that I just don't know about. And just hearing you today, right on the money.
So did I help with those questions?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now let's go to the next one. All right, here's one. What do you do when you need motivation or feel discouraged? And my answer to that is make it a journey and learn to enjoy the process. That's my answer to that.
Yeah. When you hit those roadblocks, it is a journey.
And you have to go back to the beginning to why did I get it in the first place? You're going to have people that's not going to like you for no reason. You don't even know why. You can't get entertained that. You
Oh, yeah.
got projects you really would love to have done, but you can't seem to get it done because of whatever reason. You know,
Mhm.
go back to the beginning. What made you love it? What made you write it? What made you invest your energy in it? And that is the focus you keep.
Yeah.
And then if you have to write it down and put it on your dream board, you put it down and put it on your dream board. So when you feel that way, go back to that.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
it might,
absolutely.
but sometimes there's not going to be people or support to encourage you or build you up. That goes
Right.
back to, again, no, don't go to the outside source.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
because our foundation is God. Well, the God is on the inside of us.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
always remind people, everything you need is already on the inside of you. You just have to figure out a way how to manifest it out.
Right.
So you have
Mhm.
your encouragement. Okay. Anybody want to add to that? Because y'all done put this all on me like I'm supposed to be the speaker.
Well, you know, you're giving so much good knowledge. It's amazing. And for me, in the middle of writing, say if something takes me away from it, and then I come back to it, and sometimes you just get stuck. You know, I find myself pulling away from it, then
Mhm.
coming back to it, like you said, Tanae, from the beginning, and go back and read what I wrote that got me to that point. And then it's just start flourishing. It just start coming and coming and different things. I see something from a different point of view now. So
Yeah.
absolutely, because you have to encourage yourself.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
gonna have nobody believing in you, but you and God are the majority, and you
Yeah.
have to trust what He gives you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And not look at it as being selfish, because you prayed, and I posted this just yesterday, I believe. You prayed for God to give you something. You prayed for God to help you get your life in order. But for whatever reason, when you get what you've asked for, you don't recognize it, and you're still asking for it, and you do nothing with it. And you have
Right.
to get to your point, to the point of saying, you know what, I have arrived. And it's
Mhm.
okay for me to appreciate where I've arrived to, and not let anybody make you feel like you can't appreciate the gifts that are in you. We are good at appreciating other people's gifts, but we have to learn how to appreciate our own gifts.
Mhm. It's
Let
something
me just say this one thing that so I work for a high school, and when I first started at this high school, because I've always kind of worked for schools. When I started at this high school, I told myself I was only going to be here a year because I had some other stuff that I was doing, and this was only going to be because I was trying to get some state jobs or whatever, but had already worked for the schools years before. Ended up coming back. And so I said I was only going to be there for a minute. Here we are, fast forward, I've been there 13 years. But at the beginning of the school year, I was walking from the BART to work, and I got close to the school, and I looked at it, I said, you know what, this is going to be my last year, because I need to go for my dream. Like, I need to really do my thing. And let me tell you, I go to work, and that's where I write. I get the kids, so Miss, you go over there and start your math. Miss Monique be over there in a minute. I'm on the computer typing. So I had a routine that I went to work every day and worked on my scripts. But now with this coronavirus, the schools is shut down. So last week, I had to tell myself, look here now, you're going to have to start writing.
right.
Because if you're not going back to work, you're not about to sit up here and just be sitting up here and just be sitting up here.
Mhm.
So again, it comes back to it's all in you. It's not at that school. That's not where it's at. Now maybe that's where it motivates you because you're trying to get out of there. But it's in you. So if you don't get on that computer and start writing, so last week I started writing again because of course it is in me.
Awesome.
But in those moments where you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And so I figured out that's what I'm supposed to do. Also, I do affirmations every morning, and one of my affirmations is, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm living my life like it's a vacation. Well, this ain't necessarily no vacation, but
Feels like one, don't it?
You're making the best out of
I'm,
it.
I'm still getting paid from my job. Thank God for the state.
Say hallelujah.
Still
Thank
getting
you.
a check, and I
Yeah,
can sit at home and work on my career because I used to go to work on my career.
right.
Now I can work on my career every day. We just can't go out and film. Even though some of the people I work with, talking about, we need to be filming. I'm like, because I have an
No.
elderly mother that I take care of. So I'm like, I can't bring nothing.
Right.
But
And
it just comes down to
mm-hmm.
it's in me. And I had to get myself up from in front of the TV
Mm-hmm.
and start writing.
Yeah.
And then take some of these
I
free
write with the
online
TV on.
classes.
I write with the TV on.
Oh my God.
Thoughts for
You
me.
know, I do that too. I force myself to write, and I work. I mean, I have an 8 to 5 that I'm blessed to work from home, still getting a check. And as soon as I am off my job's time, it's full force my stuff, what I love. And we as creatives, we have to keep being creative during this terrible virus. I mean, we don't stop living, we don't stop breathing. God made us creative beings, and we have to keep. And I think during this time, so many creative ideas are coming.
Yes.
We got to get it down. We
Got
have
to.
Yeah.
We got to. So
good.
yeah, that's what I mean about that motivation during these times.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think this time is just really a great time because I'm constantly running. So this has been really great to get some of those things I've been trying to get done. My editing, my actors reels. I actually have done 14 actors reels that's been waiting on it for almost a year, maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't know. But they've been
Wow.
waiting. So I've been like inboxing them their reels and they're like, what? They're all excited. So it's like now I'm able to get some of the things done that my
Yeah.
time doesn't allow because when
Yeah.
you're doing the editing portion, that takes a lot of your brain because you got to sit and watch all the footage and try to
Ooh.
connect all the stories. So it's a lot to do the
Oh
footage,
yeah.
reels, but just to put the show, the movie, the feature film, the series, and like this is my first series, and I'm having a hard time with the series. I ain't even gonna lie. This series I'm excited about it, but putting it together has been like a really challenge for me. I know I'll get it done, but it's just like I was supposed to have it done in February, but I'm like, y'all, this is going to be delayed a little bit because my brain just can't function with it, especially with everything that was going on.
Yeah.
So got a visitor I see now.
Yeah, my husband, but he's good. That's okay. That's okay.
So I want to go. I want to go try to get as many of the questions in that we can. Here's another question. What's the best way to find people interested or able to endorse or support you? That goes back to that sponsoring. But what options do you have that you can share?
For me, sponsoring, people forget a lot of times that women in your family, women in your church. These women can cook, and all you have to do is ask. They want to feel needed. You tell them, I'm shooting this other film. I need to feed my actors. They would love to cook. They still sew. You need wardrobes. I mean, to utilize what you already have there that you may not even realize. We
Right.
had older men who used to be contractors and, built things, and they were happy to build different little sets we needed for this, for that. You'd be so, and they love it. They love
Right.
it.
Right.
So just utilize folks that you already know that got the talent and skill, maybe
Yeah.
not in the film industry, but just regular people. They'll be more
Yeah.
than happy to extend the help.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good advice.
All right, next question. When the support only comes during premieres, how do you stay focused? We'll pretty much cover that. And on task and keeping it moving forward. Again, don't look for the outside source. And as far
There.
as the people that support you at your premieres, just appreciate that because they showed up. And a lot of
Yeah.
times you have premieres and nobody shows up and sees your project. So gratitude, just staying grateful for every little bitty thing. That's my thing. I'm grateful for it because there was a time didn't nobody know who I was, who I was, how I was, what I was doing, that I even was even creative. So in my
Right.
mind, that is, I'm just thankful for. I don't care if it's a 2-second you. I'm grateful for you. Period. as you know, about what people post, I still try to say, even if I have to chastise them for what they're saying, I still say thank you. And then I
That's
give
right.
you my opinion, and if you don't want it, don't ask for it.
Today I have a question for you.
Me or her?
I have a question for you. On your post, when you post on your Facebook, and I crack up every time I hear it, you say, please submit your headshot and please make sure you're fully clothed. What do people send you?
Oh, I have, well, you know, men love their bodies, and I'm a woman, and they think because I'm a woman that I'm going to be casting them for their body. And they will send me headshots, but with their body, they'll have junk trunks. I don't need to see your junk. I'm not casting your junk. You know, and I get women that send pictures of themselves in thongs, side views.
Oh my God.
Yeah, oh yeah, I get all kinds of stuff. I do,
Well,
you know.
nowadays everybody considers themselves to be a model, you know, with
Well,
Instagram, and
well,
so
I don't
they
know
think that
if they
that's
consider themselves.
acceptable. They think those pictures are
No.
Well,
Oh,
right,
I don't
but
know if I would
they
want to
think
say.
that.
I don't know if I want to say that they think they're a model, but we are a sex-oriented country now of
yeah.
people, and
Yeah,
they, you know, and we're all about what's on the outside. And
Mhm.
so we think on the outside is how we need to present. So they're sending pictures that they think that would intrigue me, thinking that that's going to get them cast. But for some, you know, and then you also have to keep in mind at one time this was more of a male dominant industry,
right,
and they wanted I mean, think about Harvey Weinstein being in jail
right.
for what he did. You know,
Mhm.
all they did was say brown. You know,
Yeah,
mindset is out there for this industry, male and female, you know, show me what you working with. So that's what they think they're supposed to show you. And I'm trying to just, you know, for myself, I mean, some people still like that, but for me, that's not the kind of actors I want. I want actors that want to present their skill, their talent as
right.
an actor delivering a scene, a line so profound that the viewer will just be like, wow.
Mhm.
Not looking at their body to see, you know, how many six packs they got, or how thin she is, or how her rump bump is all
Mhm.
flushed or whatever. So
Mhm.
I say that because I want them to take it serious to what they submit to me. And even with their reels or their monologues, you know, I don't need a 10-minute video of everything you've done. I just need a less than 3 minutes so I know, you know,
Exactly.
can you read?
Right.
Right.
Can you perform? Sorry, my hair, the fan's making the hair go in my mouth. You know, can you give me something that makes me believe the role that you want? You
Yeah.
know, those are the
Yeah.
things I'm looking for. Can you make me believe?
Hmm.
If I can't believe your deliverance, why am I going to cast you?
Right.
Right.
Because that, you know, because I'm trying to tell a story that's believable for the audience. But if I have actors that can't deliver the belief, then there's no need for me to have you in the film or for me even to film it.
Right.
So
Right. I've seen you say before also, if it's not right, don't tell them that it's right. You know how some people sugarcoat like their delivery. If you didn't like it, don't tell them you liked it. It was something to that extent.
That's right.
yeah, because that's the opportunity, one, for them to hone in on their talent to get it better.
Mhm.
Two, that gives me the opportunity to make sure you're delivering what I'm looking for. Because
Mhm.
keep
Right.
in mind, when you have a script, whether you wrote it or not, and you're just a director, everything's in your head.
Mhm.
And all you can do is see what you see.
Right.
And
Right.
if they're not delivering what you seeing in your head, then they're not
Mhm.
delivering what you need.
Right.
Because you already got a visual goal to what you want to present in your film, and you're editing. Well, I'm editing while I'm filming.
Right.
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 Editing while I'm
Same
writing.
way. Yes.
So that way, by the time I'm in the editing room, I already know what scenes I want to put together. It's just a matter of how well did you deliver that scene on which scene I want to put there. So so my mindset is when I'm working with actors is trying to teach them, train them on their performance to give me what I want, but also for them to learn at the same time. So that way, when they go to the next set, they have something they can take with them. I like to
Right.
I like to always leave people with something. That's just who I am.
Mhm.
I'm a giver. So I want to, that's when I do the cast interviews on all my projects, because I want them to see their growth, but also I want them to see what they've learned from filming that they can take forward with them. So that helps me to know that we delivered something, not only on a project, but that actor has something to take forward with them. Because
Yes, growth.
they may never work with me again, but they have something they can take on to that next set. But also it gives them something to post, because so many actors have shared with me they never got footage, they never had anything to show that they were a part of anything, but they done promoted that they're going to be part of this project, but there's nothing to the project for them to say they were even part of a project. So my thought is, if I give them something to show that they did something, then that makes our relationship better. But it
Yes.
also gives them something to show that they did. And then when they go and work on another project, it gives that other filmmaker something to go back and see. Oh, well, if they had that to say about that project, then they're going to be a easy person for me to work with. See, there's a method to my madness. I know a lot of people be like, well, who she thinks she is interviewing and all that kind of stuff, because I'm thinking full circle, not just myself. I'm thinking about them, I'm thinking about their future, and I'm thinking about what they've already done. And I'm trying to give them something to build upon, because everything right now for humans is branding.
Yeah.
Can you brand if you don't have anything to brand? And so
Exactly.
if I don't give them some, I may not give you a full length reel, but I give you snippets of all of your scenes. It's up to you to decide if you want to take that scene and promote it or
Right.
put it as part of a reel. Because I tell them up front, if I post it on my Facebook, it's yours to use.
Mhm.
Take it and make your own reel. You can do whatever you want to do with it.
Yes, that's
Right.
what I do with my
So when you
actors.
talk about, you haven't given me a reel, but I did. It was just up to you to decide how you was going to put it together.
Yes,
Right. Right.
absolutely.
So I'm giving them while I'm working with them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've even had
That's fair.
actors who told me, don't post my scene. You don't get the right to tell me don't post your scene.
That's
You get the
right.
right not to use it, but
Right.
that's my scene now that is performed. So I'm going to use it however you signed the contract. I'm going to use it however I choose.
Right.
If you don't like how you perform, that's your issue.
Right.
Now,
But many actors, they are so perfectionist, especially a true actor. They're such a perfectionist. No matter how good it is, it's never going to be good enough to them. And I accept that. So my goal is not to look to see if you believe that your scene was good. My goal is to see if that scene was good for the story I'm trying to tell.
there you go.
Absolutely.
Right.
I do the
Right.
same thing with my actors. I give them, I release snippets, copies, and they have, they get a copy. When it's done, all said and done of their scenes, and it's up to them what they do with it. And
Yeah.
I tell them in the beginning, this is what I'm going to do. So you're going to bring the talent and the performance you need. That when I cut this, you can use it, moving forward as a reel or as a clip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Ready for next question?
Yes.
Let me
Okay.
just ask this really quickly. When we talk about contracts, when you're saying you're doing contracts, are you doing like artist release contracts, or just the simplest form of, have the right to use your likeness and your,
All of the above.
Mhm.
okay, yeah, just
I
making
cover,
sure. 'Cause
I
I always
cover
use,
I cover everything. What my expectations of you, whether you go get paid or whether you're not going to get paid. I do
yeah,
pay.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
Right.
do
It's
pay
all
some
covered in that.
sometimes I pay the actor, depends on what my budget is. What I have left, I'll pay the actor. If it's a budget where I have to pay too much for a location or catering or whatever, then I make sure, if nothing else, I do I make sure they have gas to get wherever to the location. I make sure they have whatever they need to perform. It may not be a check to say, I went to a job and I got $500 for that job. You got paid.
Yeah.
Because I gave you gas money, I fed you, I gave you a roof over your head. Because most times I take care of the hotel, stuff like that. So it all depends on, where I'm at. I make sure there's not an actor that can say that they worked with me and they weren't taken care of in some form or another.
Yeah.
I got a full paycheck, but they know they were taken care of. If they don't, that's because they had an over expectation of thinking I was Tyler Perry or Ava DuVernay and I had a $300,000 budget, and they thought, and some people
They was just a little ahead of themselves. That's all.
Yeah,
They was ahead of themselves.
and some people, because they read my post and they see that I'm doing, they think I got so much money that I can give them so much.
Right.
And I'm just an independent filmmaker, just like anybody else, with a budget that I got to take care of things outside of you.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to work with Tyler Perry to get the Tyler Perry check, go to Tyler Perry. I'm just trying to get a project done, and I'm trying to take care of you the best I can. I understand we all need each other, but I'm not going to allow them to position me to take advantage, or to give me rules. If you got rules, then go to who can accept those rules. I can't. And I honestly, I do the same thing with SAG actors. When SAG actors reach out to me and want to work with me, I'm honest up front. Hey, I don't have SAG money for your title.
Right.
To me, I respect SAG. I've studied SAG, but for me, SAG is just a title.
Yeah.
Say you'll SAG, and and here's the thing: if you're SAG, then your earnings should be from productions that pay you enough to pay for your SAG membership.
Right.
If you got a SAG title and you're not able to pay for your SAG membership every month, which is from $3,300 to $5,000, depending on your level of SAG. If you're working as a SAG actor doesn't pay for that, you're still an independent actor.
True.
You're still an independent actor. So you can't come to me telling me, I'm a SAG and this is what you got to do, because I know I don't.
Right.
So if you want to be that kind of SAG actor, go get Tyler.
But you would think that they would do the SAG projects. It says SAG.
Say what?
You would think that they would go for the SAG projects. If they come in with that mentality, I'm SAG, I want to be part of your project, but I'm SAG, this is what the salary should be. You should be looking for SAG projects that say union projects.
Well, then that's the thing that you have to understand as a filmmaker when you're communicating with SAG actors. If they're coming at you as a SAG, realize you're coming as a SAG title, but you're still an independent actor.
Yes.
If you were that big of a SAG name, you'll be an A, B lister working with Denzel, Holly, and all of them, and you wouldn't be trying to work with me.
Yes.
So you can't expect from me what you would get from their project, because I'm not that type of filmmaker at that level yet. So what I've come to learn is, and this is no fault of theirs, it's just, that entitlement that comes across that's taking place with actors and filmmakers, and that is everybody's trying to be something that they're not. And they're in that entitlement expectation, of what they think you should deliver to them when we're not Hollywood money.
Right.
And I'm trying to make it clear, I'm not Hollywood money. Yeah, I got some Hollywood money, but that Hollywood money is for particular projects. And I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to allow you to tell me how I'm to spend it.
Right.
So if you're all about just give me the check, are you going to pay me? Then you don't want to work with me. Because like I said before, I do take care of my actors. I may not take care of it in the way, I'll take care of you in the way you think I should, but I'm taking care of you the way I know I can. And I'm not going to let you position me to tell me what's right or wrong to how I run my production.
Absolutely.
It's just, people are just finicky. I had a guy not too long ago telling me he wanted to work with me, and we're cool. I met him through someone not too long ago. I know he's an actor, and he does probably a nice handful of stuff. But then we were talking about, let's work together. And I was like, well, I got this project that I'm working on. Maybe we can, sit down and we can read or whatever. And that's when it came in. Well, I'm a SAG actor, so, I probably can't be on your set because I'm like, okay, so like, why you even want to meet up with me and try to
Exactly.
work with me so you can throw out the SAG? Yeah, I'm SAG eligible, but what does that mean? Okay, it's a big
You're
scheme
SAG
of things.
eligible, but I'm not eligible to pay you SAG.
Right. So I'm like, okay, so why did we even go through the whole wheel of
Well,
conversation for you
because
to
what
bring
I
me back
said earlier,
around and tell me you can't work on my project because you SAG?
because
Okay.
it's what I said earlier, it's more of an ego thing, and an entitlement thing that's going on. That's my first question to a SAG now wasn't before, but now my question is, okay, so you're SAG. Are you paying for your SAG with the projects you're doing? Are you paying for your SAG with your check that you earning on your own, or is your SAG membership paid for at all?
Mhm.
That tells me where you are.
Mhm. Right. True.
Because I've worked with some SAG actors and I've worked with some magnificent SAG actors, and I've had some SAG actors, just tell me they can't work with me, and I just say it's okay. Because
Right.
I look at it this way, there are some amazing talents out there that are not even close to SAG that gives
Mhm.
me the same deliverance, if not better, than you. Because you got a SAG title don't mean you're a great actor.
Right.
No offense. The
That only
actors
means
that are
you've been
watching, no offense to you, but I've worked with some of you and you didn't deliver what you thought you was delivering being a SAG. So a
right.
SAG actor, when you come to me talking about SAG, I have an expectation too. You need to be delivering great work if you're going to be expecting a paycheck.
Mhm.
Right.
You know,
Because SAG does not necessarily mean experience. It means that you've been on you have to be on 3 major sets in order to get the
I,
voucher.
I don't
I
even
think
think
it's
it's
just a
major
union. Yeah, you just be on a
I
major
think that was
union.
one before, but I think when they revamped it a couple of years ago, it's just a matter of, because I mean, I've talked to some SAG actors, and the only thing they've done is extra. They, where they and I
Exactly.
one of them that they didn't even get on the set on the film. They were just there sitting waiting to be chosen. So
Right.
that happened because they were able to say they were there. That became part of their SAG, and they were part of the
Exactly.
project.
So
But
that
I
doesn't mean experience.
I think with background work, you have to have at least have 3 vouchers that you were on a SAG project as an extra, and you become SAG, it'll say background. And then in terms of you as an actor, I think you have to be on a SAG project, and your role has to be 5 lines or more. And I think they call it, what is it, Tefley, something that you can get just vamped in, but you got to pay them dues. Got to
yeah,
Hmm.
pay them dues.
to
Right.
Mhm.
That part.
And then and then just to know about SAG, SAG was not created to give actors a title to be a SAG actor. SAG was created to be a union so
Right.
that actors can be protected. So when they worked on big production sets, they weren't being taken advantage of, and that they were able to be covered to keep their health. So if there's an injury on set, they can be insured to be covered for that
Right.
injury. So
Right.
SAG is just a union uh, for an employer to take care of their employee. That's
Mhm.
what SAG was purposely put together. But because of the title, it's just gotten distracted to be a title.
Right.
And
Of,
people are
of
using
entitlement.
and
Yeah.
so they're using it in the wrong way. So
Yeah.
as a filmmaker, you really need to understand what the SAG purpose is, so that
Yeah.
way when you cast a SAG actor, you know what your expectation of be and deliverance.
Mhm.
I had one that I worked with recently in my series, and he was magnificent, and he didn't let the SAG be a title for him, and he drove anywhere from 20 hours just to come film on my project. So
Wow.
he came with an ego. So because he didn't come with an ego, I was willing to, lift him as special appearance by in his name, but that only came by the respect he allowed me to have for him as that title SAG actor. He didn't come with an ego with that. And I respect him tremendously for that, because he never came with any of that. And I would ask him, why would you be part of my project? And his thing was because he believed in me and the project I was doing. And and then he didn't want money from me. He just wanted to do the project, which made me want to give him money. So I make sure I took care of him the best special way that I could. I made sure he had his own room. We made sure he had like goodies and stuff in his room. We took care of his gas because, driving 20 hours just to work on my project for a couple of days was a blessing, So I wanted to give back to him because of what he did. And, and he was even super kind where he would be like, well, you got my name. Use it. You're welcome to use it any way you want to. I prayed about how I was to use it, because I wanted to make sure, I was using it in the way that God put him in a position with me for, not just to promote him just because he's a SAG. I didn't want to promote him SAG because I didn't want to distract from his skill and his talent. Because now he came as a SAG actor and he delivered over and above as a SAG actor. So that gave me great deal of respect for him and the way I promoted him. But I did not use him SAG in my promoting of him because I didn't want to distract from who he was as a talent. See the difference? So that's I understand SAG, I respect SAG, but I respect you as a person with talent and skill more than the title of you coming as a SAG. Does that make sense?
Yes, and that's how I cast. You can give me a title all day long, but it's your talents is what's going to be the door.
Gonna speak.
Your talent.
Yeah. So y'all good on that one? Gotta move on to the next one?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All righty. Did I say this? What motivates you when you hit a wall?
Yeah.
Now, this explain the wall. What do you mean by the wall?
Sometimes,
yeah, go Sheila.
Sometimes you get burnt out, and sometimes you can get burnt out in your own head, and you are trying to do these different things, tell these different stories, and with everyday life going on, you just get stuck in a rut sometimes. And I think hitting a wall, that's for me. And to get myself out of it, being creative is who I am. I wake up and I mean, even now I'm thinking of different stories. I can write. I can. That's coming to me. So I'm a creative, and I always have to go back to, God has given me this. This is my core. He is in me. He created me. He wouldn't have given me this he wouldn't have created me with this gift of
you. Right.
So I have to go back to the basis, break it down, go back to the core, and refocus. And after that, after I have my cup of coffee, I'm good.
I know, right? Yeah.
I was just thinking, it just came to me, this in itself, this phone call is a movie. 3 Black independent filmmaker women, on a conference call. This could be a scene from a movie.
Absolutely.
We all trying to make it.
Well, you better get the right, sister.
And we on conference call talking to each other about what's going on with our projects. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's a story for you. Start writing that story. 3 filmmakers and their different ways of doing their stories and pull it together. You can do that.
And this is a scene right here.
It is. Yeah.
I love the idea. I love the story.
Yeah.
I encourage you to pursue that.
Yeah, do it.
But you never know. Here's the thing that my mentor made clear. Just keep, because every time I went to him, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this project. He'll be like, well, go on back there and do another one, huh? Wait a minute, don't we need to get this one out? He's like, no, You need to put out as many as you can put out,
Right.
and don't worry about how many you've done, because you don't know what's going to hit the fan right.
Right.
So it's like mud,
Right.
mud, and mud. Throw it against the wall. If it slides down, let it slide down. But one of those pieces of mud's going to stick.
One of them is
You
gonna
know,
stick.
and my mentor, he said that he has done at least 50 stories of his own before he had his one big hit
I
that
believe,
became
yeah.
a blockbusters in the theaters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and that and the funny thing is that project he had did 10 years earlier, and then it
Interesting.
came back, and then that ended up being the one that he had to, you know, to do, and he did it, and it got distributed, and it worked. But he
Mhm.
wrote all the other ones afterwards, so you just don't know which one is going to be. So
Just,
my motto is, I don't love none of it. I love it all.
mhm.
And I, like you mentioned earlier, Monique, you know, you don't want to do them all. Well, what I do is the ones that I don't want to do, I got a pal. And the ones I do want to do, I have another pal. And the ones that I do, I'm doing while I'm waiting for the success of these. And then when the opportunity comes that I can, you know, present them, you know, and that's another answer to one of your questions, is, you know, how do you get the investors? How do you get people to see your project? There's no one way for it all. It's just that due diligence of just, you know, getting your name out there, telling your elevator speech ready. So when, you know, God, you know, you could be at the bus stop sitting and talking to somebody. You could be in an Uber driving it and have somebody in your car. We're all mix and mingles. And just because they are a big name don't mean they're going to invest in you. Sometimes it's the simplest person that just wants to help you.
Right.
So don't expect it to be from somebody big. Just expect it to be the blessing that God has presented for you.
Right.
You
There
know,
we go.
and then, you know, and then start, you know, looking for, pay attention to Facebook. Facebook is telling you all kinds of stories. You know what I'm saying? You can create a Facebook page and show all your movies on that Facebook page. I have Tone Brown's short page where all my shorts are on there. You know, I have a website page that I have movies by Tone, and I have all my short films where they're there. And then I put everything on there about all the cast and actors and stuff like that. So I promote that way. And then what it has done for me by me doing that on my own is when the 12 Wise Men came about and they were like, well, what you doing? Like, well, let me give you my website. And then I directed them to what I had already done. So it wasn't that I needed them. So our relationship is, you know, what can they add to who I already am.
More like a partnering rather than kind of is. Yeah, exactly.
And that was my personal goal when I started this. I told God, I like, God, if I do this, because I didn't really believe that this was something I could do. I'm like, what do I know about filming or writing or anything? You know, I'm dyslexic first of all. You know, I stuttered as a child, you know, and I'm not very good with punctuations and all that kind of stuff, you know. But he said was just it's not about how well you write, it's the story. How well a story do you tell? So I don't worry about all the special writing skills that a lot of people like get hung up on. I just work on trying to tell the story and tell the story at best I can and get an editor to fix that. You know, so believe in yourself and believe in the gift that God has given you. Everything you need, I'm going to keep saying it, everything you need is on the inside of you. And what I said to God was, if you really given me this, then you're going to provide me everything I need.
That's right.
I'm not begging, I'm not chasing, and I'm not seeking. I'm just doing. And to me, God is just bringing the opportunities around. And I keep the attitude of gratitude no matter what, because they could have chose somebody else. God could have chose somebody else, but he's chosen me to do what I'm doing. So I don't want to take it for granted. So I'm in constant trusting that I am who God created me to be, but I am grateful for everything he's doing in that.
Right.
So I believe all the blessings, and that's why I shared the way I shared, because I don't believe he gave this to me to keep for myself.
There we go.
You
That's
know,
right.
I hear people say, "Oh, you share too much. You put too much on." Okay, you ain't got to look at it, but I know
Hey,
there's
that,
people
that
out
is
there.
not, yes, they say that about me all the time. You
Yeah,
ain't got to stop on my page.
yeah,
You,
and I'm like, God didn't give me all this for me to hoard. So I'm
Right.
going to share whatever. And my hope is, I don't care if it's just one person or if it's one thing I have said. If I manage to help that person in some kind of way as a seed, oh man, that's a blessing for me in my heart to know that I shared something that made a difference, even if it's just a change in a mindset. Because we don't
Right.
get that when we're by ourselves alone. So we got to get off of each other and feed. And that's when I thought, since we're on downtime with the virus, let's take advantage of this time and let's share this way, so that we can get out there. They may not sit on here with me like you two are, but they might watch and they can learn from all of us.
right,
Yes.
All of us got something
Yes.
to give. Does that make sense?
yes,
It makes perfect sense. I
yeah.
would love for us to do this on an often basis.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Just even
promise that.
touching.
So
I can
you,
promise you
so,
that,
so,
but I will do what I can,
so
because
during
when this
this virus, we
I got
talked
so much
about,
on hold right now through this virus thing. I'm like, I'm afraid when it's over, what's going to happen? Because
right?
so gone. I'll be so gone with so
Right.
much. And my mentor, he's in California with you, but he lives in Malibu, and
Okay.
he has his own jet, and he can call me at 3 in the morning and be like, you need to have a bag packed. We're ready to swing by and pick you up because we got to
Oh
take
my
you
God.
here and here and here. And I'm like, huh? What? A jet?
Right.
Jet? What's a jet? I ain't
Right.
gonna do that. No, I'm
You
just
talking
kidding.
about Jet
But
Magazine? What?
and they will and they will come and get me early morning. Because some of the posts I'm posting 3 o'clock in the morning. That's because I'm waiting
Yeah.
for them to come and get me and take
Yeah.
me to California, work on the project. And there's times that I'm exhausted. We'll do a whole day project, and then they will bring me home, and I'm home by midnight. And you got the time change and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I'll be exhausted. So that should not be like, just keep me awake. Let me go on and post something on Facebook, because Lord
Yeah,
Jesus,
yeah, yeah.
That's so awesome. No, that's
You know,
really, really a
this,
blessing.
during this time of isolation, um, I tell you, and I know you ladies are the same. Don't you feel yourself, God giving you more and more stories, more ideas, more things? Because for the first week of isolation, everybody not supposed to go out, stay home. I
Mhm.
thought I was gonna go insane. I really did. But I thought, okay, this is an idea I had 2 years ago. We're in isolation. Me and my husband here. Let's do it. And so on my page, today's we're friends on Facebook. Monique, I'm sending you a friend request.
I
Yes,
love the
please
video.
do.
I love that
Please
video you
do.
did of the housewives.
Yeah, I
That
mean, I'm just doing videos of the housewives of Hamilton County. I live in Hamilton County, and I'm
Mhm.
thinking, okay, let me do Hamilton County housewives. But it's just
Wow.
my husband in front of a green screen. But I'm having so much fun, and people are loving it. And they said thank you for the distraction. So it's just
It was
so many
beautiful.
things.
That was some
Thank
beautiful work.
you. Just so many things that we as
Yeah.
creators can do. This
Right.
downtime.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm actually working on a like a little short skit, to post for actors to do, so they can because some of the actors that I have talked to, the main thing they're saying is they don't have nothing to audition for right now, and they're needing to do something with their craft. So I thought, well, if I can come up with a story for them, and I got one that I hope they enjoy. But I'm going to be when I get it really fine tuned, I'm going to post it, with the hope that someone will actually take their little cell phones or cameras, whatever they have, and they actually film it. And it can be like an audition for me, and if it works out, I'll cast them. But it's
Awesome.
gonna be fun for them to do. But I've always done my casting like this. digital. You know, I've hosted some big casting, but the I like it personal like this because I get to really get to know the actor to know if they really somebody I want to work with. So
Right.
I've always done this type of format. So this is nothing
Mhm.
new to me. So and it really, if you know, now that you got the program, this is something that you can do. And on top of that, you can record it and then you go back and watch it and really see, you know, if they fit the character you want to cast them for.
Right.
So there you
Okay.
go. Y'all
Mhm.
ready for that next question?
Ready?
Okay, here we go. I think, did we cover this? How can I connect with female filmmakers from where I am? Didn't I cover that?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, let me do it again because I think um, um, you can go to meetup.com. That's
Mhm.
Okay.
just a website. You put in your state, your city, whatever, and it bring
Mhm.
up everybody in that area, and it gives you all kinds of things, different things people do. So you just put in there what your interest is, and it'll bring up everything related to what you're interested in. That's how I built my fan club for my book.
Okay.
So you can do that for your filming, and then just type in female filmmakers. If you want them black, just put black female, and
Okay.
then put it in your city, and then it'll bring up everything, and then you decide what events that interest you that you'll like to go to,
Right.
and then take the time to go to some of those events. You know, don't go with the any presumptions of anything. Just go and enjoy. And if you meet somebody that kind of clicks with what you're trying to accomplish or do, then build a relationship that way. You know,
Right.
don't go looking for female filmmakers. Just go look for people that are like-minded like yourself. And if they happen to
Right.
be filmmakers, then great, because you don't know what they may be in your life. They might be your investor. You know,
Right.
they might be an actor, or they might just become a good friend that you can feed and bounce off of. You know, I have one friend that, you know, she loves all my scripts. And so what I do now is when I write a script, the first thing I do is send it to her. And
Yeah.
then and
Mhm.
see what her feedback is like. And then that helps me to know, do I want to keep writing it or not? You know,
Mhm.
sometimes I still do because it's in my heart, but sometimes I just go by her reaction. And if her reaction is like, ooh, 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 girl, this character, then I know I got something good because she
Right.
loves books, she loves stories, she loves TV. So she's, you know, she's full. So
Right.
she's
Yeah.
got plenty of overflow for me.
Right.
So that's an option for you to be able to do. And then participate. You know, you're in California, girl. There's all kinds of stuff going on there. You know,
Yep.
Oh
get
yeah.
yourself involved in
Absolutely.
some events. You know, if you just, you know, even if it's like just do that invite EVIT. You know how you use that to
Mhm.
invite
Mhm.
people to
Mhm.
stuff? Go to that and see what events they have going on there in California, and then just start going to those events just to network, socialize, watch people study, um, just be involved because that's where
Yeah.
your stories come from. That's where you get to know people. You just have to find a way to involve yourself and just live. Don't go with the purpose of what you want to get from it. Just go and live, you know, and don't be afraid to go by yourself because sometimes you ain't got friends to go to events with.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm over that part. I'll go
Yeah.
by myself.
Does
It's
that
okay.
help? Does that help?
But yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Did you have anything you want to add to it or talk about, ladies, on that? Or go to the
Um,
next
well, let me just say this. I do go to a lot of events because I am in this group with these women filmmakers. I was trying to help bring more diversity to our group. So trying to find more feature film females that are Black is not as easy as you know. I'm sure there's some out here, but it's not. A lot of them that I come across, they've done short films, but no one has really done a feature film. So I do go to a lot of these events, but again, like I say, I am one or two of the only Black people because I'm dealing in San Francisco. Basically, a lot of these things are in San Francisco, and it's very white, and that's okay. But being one or two of the only minorities in the room, I had to And even my co-chapter leader, we're both from Berkeley, and she's you know, she's a white girl, but she's cool. We had a conversation about, she was like, girl, you got to get over that imposter complex.
What does that mean?
It means, and so we had to have a conversation about it, because I had to tell her, you know, just being one of the only Black people in the room, first off, you're very aware that you're the only Black in the room.
Well, I do notice that.
And then also, you know, a lot of these people have been in the business for a while. They've been to these festivals, you know, they do this all the time. And so this is nothing to them. And so you're coming into a room with people that have done this over and over again. And even though you know you're talented and you have all these abilities in you, you still feel like, they call it imposter syndrome, to where you almost feel like you don't belong, even though
I can kind of hear that from you.
even you feel like you don't belong, even though you know you belong.
Mm-hmm.
And the feeling of not feeling as if you belong is because you're one of the only one or two. But I had to learn to get over that. Because don't get me wrong, I don't want to be in a room full of all my people either. I love my people, but that's not what I want to be in a diverse room to where I don't feel like I'm standing out. But at the same time, I want to be in a room where I do stand out. So it's a conflicting feeling, but just being comfortable as a Black woman in a room with nothing but white people and standing proud on, I'm just as talented as you, and probably even more talented than you, and not coming with that arrogance or anything, but just that belief.
Yeah.
You know?
I like to add something to, not add to it, take away from some of that you just said. You are segregating yourself. That's what you're doing. I would like to encourage you to not look at what you do in this industry with color, or that you're even a woman. Just be who you are. Don't look at that room as you being the only Black person in that room, even that you are. Don't bring that with you, because they see it, they feel it, and then makes them feel intimidated by it, that they're not going to want to support you. You got to find a way to present yourself where you're, yes, you are equal talent, everything, but you're seeing yourself so separate from them that you can't see yourself in union with them.
No, it's something that I had to work through and that I've gotten over. But what, and telling my co-chapter leader how I felt, we had discussions on it, and I was able to work through that. And what that is called is an imposter syndrome, where yeah. But I mean, I work around all kind of people, so I don't necessarily, feel inferior around them. But just finding my comfort zone, just finding, and you're right, it doesn't matter who's in the room. It shouldn't, I shouldn't go in there with that. But I had to go through it in order to see it and recognize it, in order to realize that that part doesn't matter. But it's hard as a Black person, period, to go in a room with nothing but white people and not recognize that.
Okay.
No matter what room you in.
I don't see that, but if you see it that way, then that's what you see. But when I walk into the room, I don't even see color. I don't see me being a female. I see me a filmmaker, period. And that's how I go in there, and that's how I communicate. I'm just God's child with a talent, and I'm presenting that talent to you. And it's up to you to decide if you want to hone in on my talent. I don't have time. I don't have the energy to give to another human person to make me feel anything other than God's gift. So that's all I'm trying to say in that.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I'm just basically really just trying to be a help in this, because this was one of your questions, and that is just to simply say, learn or accept, just be who you are, because you are magnificent. You are talented. You are creating some great work. You just need to believe, not, I don't want to say it that way. I would love for to hear you communicate that you believe in what you doing, who you are, and what you're presenting and bringing to the table. It doesn't matter if you're in a room of all white, black, or a great mixture.
Right. No matter who's at the table.
It doesn't matter. This is what you're bringing to the table. This is what I have. This is what I'm accomplished, and this is what I can deliver. And that's your and I like that to be your bottom line, especially in the area in which you are of California. If you don't manage to manage who you are, then you're going to get stomped over in that area, in that industry. Where we are, we got to just a little bit of a little more relaxed, because we got babies in this industry where we're all growing at the same time. You're in an industry where they're already established and they done already set the tone on how things going to be. So it's up to you to find that way to present yourself in a whole different tone, so they'll take you serious. Because this is just my thought. Until you find that for yourself, you're not going to be taken serious enough to ride with the big dogs, because they're going to eat you up and chew you out like a shark. Does that make sense? So you have to find your power, your empowerment to exuberate out of your body. So that way your body talks before you speak a word.
That's true.
Am I making sense to either one of you on that?
Absolutely.
So that's the goal I hope that you take from anything we said today. And that is, what is your power from the within of you that you can start showing out? It can be how you're going to talk. It's going to be how you're going to dress, how you're going to present yourself. Remember, you are the powerhouse that other filmmakers, male, female, black, white, Hispanic, Arabians, it doesn't matter. They're looking at you to see what your deliverance is. If you and then study the ones that have broken through those channels. You never hear Ava DuVernay talk Black anything. She'll deliver a story about our Blackness, and she'll create a communication about helping you see what the story is without having it be just a Black story. So that way, universally, that story can be picked up. And that's what I've learned from her. Do you see the difference? So if we're going to make it in this industry, we have to find our way of communicating so we are taken serious enough that people will want to invest in us, want to help us, and put seed in us. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
So that's what I would like for you to be able to take away from this meeting today, of us just sharing, because I see you. And I have been watching. I know I don't click like a lot. I'm not into the like. I'm just, that like thing does not tell me nothing. How many people following you? That don't tell me nothing. That just tells me that people just click like on your page. Because sometimes they click like and they ain't even read or saw what you even put.
Exactly.
True.
You know what I'm saying? None of that stuff means nothing to me. What means to me is the value that you can put behind what it is that you are. So determine what your value is and what you bring to the table, and then build on that brand and live that. And don't care about what anybody else says or thinks. Because I can tell you 9 times out of 10, most people are just trying to get where you halfway are.
That's right.
They just got an opinion to it, and they ain't done half of what you've done. So it's just an opinion.
True.
So trust what's been put on the inside of you and stop looking outside of yourself. And then here, I'm going to put out the goal to you. When you walk into that room with those beautiful, lovely ladies that have done documentaries, that they see the power in you, that they want to follow you instead of you following them. That they'll be like offering you money.
Right, I received that.
If they believe in something, they ain't got no problem giving you some money. If they believe in you, so you got to build the belief of who you are walking in there. You next
Yeah.
time you go in that room, you better walk in there with some power. You have arrived.
Yes.
I am
Yes. Yes,
all
ma'am.
about the project and the money. Go on and bring it to me. Give it to me.
That's right.
Does that make
That's
sense
right.
what I'm sharing with you today?
I totally receive it.
Totally
Yes.
receive?
Yeah, I
Hallelujah.
totally
Thank you,
receive
Jesus.
it.
All right. I'm ready for the next question, or anybody want to add anything?
Woo. I'm good on that one.
Okay. How do I go about bid sales not getting any help? Help me understand that question.
Well, like I said, there are scripts that I want to film, and then there's scripts that I don't. And so, like one in particular, I have a sci-fi script that I'm working on. I have a treatment. I would love to sell it. I reached out to my lawyer friend, who's in Atlanta, and he said he would reach out because first off, he didn't even know what I was talking about. And then so he said he would reach out to some of his other lawyer friends, find out if they know anything about bid sales. And when he came back to me, he was like, "Yeah, no one I know knows anything about how to do that." And I'm like, "Okay, well, how do you figure it out? How do I sell my scripts? How do I, I just want to figure out what do I do to sell a script? How do who, how, what? I just don't know how to go about it. And I know I reached out to you before and you was like, "Oh, well, you have to find somebody that does this and that, and they have to know that." And so then that's when I reached out to somebody and they was like, "Well, I don't know." And I'm like, "Okay, well,
That you can
is there like an agency? Like, I don't even know where to research because even just putting that in the internet, it doesn't really give you a lot of information."
Yeah, because it's more of a who you know. It really is.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
is more of who you know. I get that question a lot because I'm selling scripts, so I get it a lot. And I'm told all the time, you can't give out that information.
And I
You know,
and I get it and I understand
yeah,
that.
I don't want to mess up my little,
But
look,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
even
mess up my little gig.
I don't even know like what type of
Um,
agency to contact I don't even know if it's north, east, south, or west. I mean, I'm just saying like which direction do I go?
yeah,
So
I
that's
hear
just
you.
one of those things that I still haven't been able to figure out.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not a thing. I don't even know how to answer that question, to be honest with you, without getting myself in trouble. I'm just going to say that networking is going to be very important. As one of the filmmakers that was on my last conversation, change your friends. You need to find you some new friends. Find some friends that fit into the 5 steps categories of what's important to you and what you value. Get into some association with people that are, shaking and baking it, not people that are just, coming around just to hang around. Don't be afraid not to be in the cliques. I think what blessed me more than anything that I've done is I never allowed myself to get caught up in any cliques. You know, especially here in Georgia, there are cliques beyond cliques. And
Mm-mm.
and I don't do this out of meanness. I just do this out of protection of myself. I didn't want myself available for cliques, and I didn't want anybody feeling like they made me because I was part of their clique. Because there's people that helped other people, which is beautiful, but they did it to make them sound bigger or better, or they the big dog of Georgia. Everybody's supposed to go to this person. Well, no, not I.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't want my faith in any man or woman. Period. My faith is totally with God, and I just feel like I said earlier, if God gave it to me, God's already made a way for me. And
So he'll lead me
that
to
hurt.
it when it's time.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I said he'll lead me to it when it's time.
When
It's
it's
just
time,
not
right?
something to worry about.
And I had to learn that. I learned it, but I had to really learn it the hard way with dealing with my 12 mentors, because always when I bring something to them, they always be like, "Well, you need to go do it again." If I finish a project, we'll go do it again. go, if you've written a script, well, go write another one. So I ended up, by them telling me go do it again, I ended up with so much material. I had, this like, oh, then I gave them the material, and then they're like looking at it like, okay, this has gotten better. Because each time I went and did it, I got better.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't never get satisfied with what I had already done. So when they said go do it again, I would go do it again with a different story, better story, and I got better. So when they told me to go do it again, they really was helping me to go hone my talent
Right.
and get better. So
Right.
from that, then I end up developing greater scripts or greater film projects that made them say, oh, okay, now we got something we can work with.
Okay.
When you're a writer or a filmmaker, can nobody tell you how to be that?
Mm-hmm.
That is something that you just are.
Mm-hmm.
So when people ask, how do I get into it? Well, you're already into it by making the decision to do it. So there's
Right.
no
Right.
right way, there's no wrong way. And that's the purpose of us being together here, so they can see all three of us different ways. But y'all also are making me feel like I'm dominating. I apologize. I'm not trying to do that, but y'all keep coming asking me questions from your questions, and I'm trying to get answers.
You got some good answers, so
Well,
it's
praise be to
good.
God for that. But the whole goal is put it out there, but remain true to yourself, and be your own mentor. You don't need a mentor, really. Um, they're not really mentors. We call them that, but they're just people just happen to done something that you trying to do, and they had some success with it, and they're just sharing their ideal.
Mhm.
That's all it is, you know. So I call them mentors because that's just what the title they have. But to me, they're more of associations of people who've imparted into my life what they've already accomplished, and I respect and value that from them. So,
I do
I
have
try
a
to
person
share
like
what
that
I can.
in my life.
I'm sorry.
I have a person like that in my life, mentor. I mean, he truly support what I do, and he has done Hollywood. He's out of Hollywood now. He gave me inside things. I mean, it's priceless, priceless. And he's always there anytime I call. A person like that, or you have your 12 men. I have my one, and I tell you, I am so blessed that he's in my life.
Yeah, because you got that's somebody you can bounce off of whatever you're going through.
Mhm.
Because none of us is perfect in this. It's all hit and run, and we're just trying to do our best at it. So just keep trying to do your best at it and bring forth your best self, because it's your best self of who you are that's going to make gravitate the right people to want what you present. Like
That's
Oprah always said, there can't be another Oprah. She's already Oprah. Well, Monique,
mhm.
there's not another Monique. There's just
Mhm.
you. So
Mhm.
now, instead of looking outward, just try to give the best you, because there's people waiting on what you have to provide. Same thing for you, Miss Sheila.
Mhm.
You guys are just so super talented, and people are waiting on what you have on the inside of you.
Mhm.
But you just have to allow it. And it's not about the big production or working for a big company or any of that. It's your viewers. Your focus needs to be your viewers,
Mhm.
not your title, not you're not anything but your viewers.
Right.
That's where your focus should be. What
Mhm.
am I delivering to my viewers? And
Mhm.
then your distribution to your viewers is, you know, don't be afraid of not making the money. The money comes.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
The money comes. Focus on the viewer and delivering a great product for the viewer to view. And if that means putting your full length movie on YouTube, so what?
Mhm.
And now YouTube is set up where you can set it up to be making some money. So start
Mhm.
promoting that on your page, so that people can start, going to that. That's actually one of the things I'm working on, because I've had two pages for years. I just never utilized them. So now I'm learning how to utilize them.
Mhm.
But yeah, that YouTube is just as good as Netflix and as Amazon. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
the only difference is you have control over.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. I
You
just
can make
recently reached out to a young lady. She has a channel called Ambitions. I think it's spelled with a Z. Ambitions.
Oh yeah, Demetra.
Demetra,
Yeah.
yes. And
She's a
she has the
personal
road
friend of
group.
mine. Yeah.
So I sent a link of my trailer to her. So we've been going back and forth, and she just sent me a broadcasting release. And there we go. So, like you said, I have been looking into, distribution, and finding ways that I connect with some of my people as well as outside of that, even
Absolutely.
though YouTube is great, but I came across her and I said, let me try it and see. And so,
I have two movies on her channel now.
okay, well, hopefully I'm
So
looking
yeah,
forward to.
she is a magnificent person to begin with and stay with as much as you can, because
Yeah.
she really loves what she does, and she's
Yeah.
doing it with a good heart, and she's going to try to make sure that she presents it well. Just the important thing is to recognize the relationship that you have with that, and when she accepts your project, promote it, promote your project,
Absolutely.
promote her,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
it's a relationship that we have. So the more
Yes.
you promote her and put her out there, the more the audience grows, and the more
Right.
your project is being seen.
Right.
That's how it
Absolutely.
works.
Yes.
The paparazzi, they're out there as a purpose to keep you with visual. That's when you don't hear them talking about, oh, I'm mad at the paparazzi. Without the paparazzi, we wouldn't know you was a star.
Absolutely.
Without
Hello.
the paparazzi, you wouldn't be an A-lister.
That's
Right.
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 Be another actor that just finished a project.
Right.
Yeah. I love YouTube. I put everything out there. I love YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so make that your channel. Start there, and then as you grow your audience there, then in the meantime, build you a nice Monique website,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
start uploading your movies. I like webs.com. I like that. It's free for right now. You can WES.
WIX.
Yeah, I have a Wix. I have a Wix
Yeah,
under
I
Oakland
didn't care.
Filmmaker.
Wix was too complicated for my brain. Well, I need when everything I do, I look for simplicity. If you make it too much for me to think about, I ain't got time for it.
Right. Right.
I ain't got time
No,
for it.
I have a Wix.
I think too much on my own. I don't need nothing added to it. So I do webs, WEBS.com. And
Okay.
I create that. I have several pages out there from it. You can purchase it or you can do it free. Doing it free, it just puts the webs at the end of it, and I don't care. It still put my product out there. And if you Google me, you're going to go to that page either way. So it don't have to be .com for me. I don't care. I'm just trying to get my goal. Can I get it out there to the viewers?
Yeah.
I don't care about the I mean, of course I care about the presentation, but I'm not stuck on the presentation to the point that I can't get it out there. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
And that's why I'm at now.
So build your website for all those movies that you've done, and you upload all your movies to that website, and it even has a cart. So if people want to buy your project, because that's what I did with my movies. I mean my novels. I put a cart there so people can click on it and they can buy it, and then it alerts me somebody's buying it. They done paid their money through PayPal. Then all I do is go and make copies of it and print it out and pack it up and ship it to them, and they got it. And that's the same thing a distribution does.
Yeah.
And then that's money that I put aside to use towards my other projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you know how to put your movies to DVD, put a nice little packaging together for it, then be like the music industry. They were selling their DVDs out of their trunks. Why can't you do it?
Yeah.
And right now with the social media, you don't have to do it out of your trunk. You just post it on your social media and boom, you just
everything is a link now. CDs and things like that, they're becoming dinosaurs. Everything is a link, so it's a click away.
Right.
So I do have a Wix website with the trailers and everything that I've done on there, but I just have not been branding and really promoting
everything, because sometimes you get all over the place when you're trying to handle one thing. You start one thing, like the website is there. I just haven't been promoting it because I've been trying to focus on writing, and then life in between, and Corona, so but it's a matter of getting everything, like you said, in one file. This is completed, this is not completed, or this is what you want to sell, this is what you don't want to sell, and just organization of everything.
And on your Wix, there is a little link box where you just link, put a HTTP address in it, and they just click on that, and it links you right to wherever you want it to go.
Watch the movie.
So if you don't want to build another page, and you can like put a picture up and then put a link to your Facebook page, and it goes to your Facebook page and pull up everything about your Facebook page. So there's different ways you can do it, where to be one location, but it links to everything.
Everything.
You just name the link, and you just put whatever image to that link that you would like to put there for them to go to. So I have my Tone Brown page where everything I got is linked with that page, even my Instagram and all this little social stuff, because I don't have time to go to all those socials. So my Instagram links everything to one of those pages. So if they go to that page, they can see what I'm doing no matter what. Okay. Anything else before we go to the next question? I'm trying to cover, I know it's been a little long, but I'm trying to cover all your questions, because I can't promise you when I'll do this again. Okay, so here we go. Are there recommended workshops, writing contests? No. There's plenty of them. I just don't like them. I don't like contests because I'm not into writing to compete. I'm into writing to get my story out there. So I don't do film festivals. I don't do writing contests. I don't do any of that stuff, because a lot of them don't, they're saying they're going to give you money, but you don't end up getting it because somebody's winning, but it's not you.
Right.
So I'm like, and if it's something that I got to pay for,
and a lot of times you do have to pay just to enter a lot of them.
And why?
I'm a little different on this. I won't pay for writing or writers, because my story is my story. I'm not competing with somebody. No. But in terms of film festivals, I love the fact of just getting my films out in areas and locations and states where I'm not, to develop an audience that I may not get that opportunity to. So say somewhere in Missouri, okay, they have a narrative, category. I probably will, submit to that. If I look at the film, you have to be careful, because there are thousands of film festivals. Your work, and you have to navigate what film festival fits your work.
Right,
and
for your genre.
I do submit to some of those, and it's worked out really good for me, because I've won a couple of them, and from one of them, I won, and then I was asked. I was at all expenses paid. They invited me to Jamaica, and
My God.
I was able to speak to filmmakers in Jamaica. I was able to go to their schools, to their children's homes. So that worked out really well for me.
Yeah.
It just depends on, for me it worked, but I understand.
You just have to have a budget for it, because some of them cost $65, $55, $35.
I'm not gonna do that. No, I catch the early bird when it's when it start out at $20, the very early bird.
Okay, the early bird.
Well, that's good to know. See, that's what I mean by the difference, from what she did and what I'm like not willing to do. So that's what I mean by that due diligence. Do what works for you, and that worked for her, and that's exciting for me to hear that, because I see a lot of people post a lot of festivals that they've done, that they've won, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't have no problem with it. I support it. It's just not something for me, because I'm just on a different path. That's all.
Gotcha.
So, go for it, girl. Make that mad. Okay. Anything else? We can move on to the next question? No? Okay. All right. So the next question is, how do you get your material in the right hands? I think we kind of talked about that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We covered that, so we don't need to do that one. Treatments. It is
Yeah.
better to present treatments to pique interest. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said earlier, I will put something together on that, but the treatment, you just got to make sure you have your character strong. Let's see, as an indie filmmaker, how can funding be secure for a narrative? Be more specific to that one. And then help me understand, but while you're doing that, help me understand what you mean by the narrative.
So this brings me back to me being in a group with with filmmakers that are all
Documentary.
documentary filmmakers, and it seems like it's so much easier for them to secure funds for documentaries. You know, just even trying to get somebody like we said, you know, to look at the treatment in order. So it just kind of brings us back to the same thing again, what you already kind of said. And it's really what I'm getting from all this is to build up your catalog, have your stuff standing so tall that no one, you know, whether this person likes it or not, somebody's going to like it because you're so strong about what you're doing. And you just keep going. You just keep building your catalog and your experience. Because like you said, there is no right way anymore. There are no more gatekeepers. We all have in somewhat become the gatekeepers. So I think for that, for me, that what I'm getting out of that is to really just build up my own encouragement and motivation and stand really strong in my own confidence, in my own skin,
Yeah.
in order to reflect what I want to come to me.
Yes.
If that makes sense, what I'm saying.
Oh,
The law of attraction in a sense.
yeah. Attract who you are.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Let me just share this a little bit. If you want to get more into, especially you being in California, you got a wide range. Go to CBS.com,
Okay.
ABC.com, Fox.com, the WB.com, and go to the very bottom of the page. And at the very bottom of the page where they say contact us, career, or there's a link, I can't remember the name of it right now, but there's a link on the bottom that talks about education. And there's their online education so that you can learn how to become writers for their series or TV shows. They have different programs every year that you can get involved in where they teach you how to be showrunners. They teach you how to write scripts for series. They have programs where you can actually get scripts that other writers have submitted in, that you can actually get those scripts, read through those scripts for them, because they got so much, they need people to read the scripts to determine if this is a script that's good for their next season. Right. Yeah, so and then also do Disney. Go to Disney.com. They also have a program in place. You're gonna have to, like travel, and if you're really serious about that area, you're gonna have to travel to wherever they have the program. And sometimes you may have to pay for your own expenses, but it can be worth it for you to get into the end game, to have the association and have that part of your resume. So those are some of the things you want to look at. How do you build your resume so when you are in a position in a room with an investor, you can say, hey, but this, even though I got these films, but these are some of the projects that I've been involved in with CBS or, or with NBC or with Fox or Disney, So look into those kind of things as well, to how you can get trained through the back door of those programs. You can end up, I ended up I didn't get to meet her or talk to her, but I ended up in the room with Shonda Rhimes doing a seminar teaching, and that was a blessing for me because I'm a big fan of hers.
Yes, I did her master class.
Yeah, I did her master. Yeah, I was really blessed. Somebody on Facebook, they just was so impressed with what I was doing that they purchased Shonda Rhimes for me and just sent me the link and said, for you. You know, that was a big blessing. I'm like, wow.
That's sweet. Yes, yes. She
So
definitely helped me a
God,
lot.
God is blessing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so go to those sites and start looking at those kind of things. And that
Okay.
is part of what I mean of, change your friendships,
Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
associations. You need to
Mm-hmm.
find ways to associate with what's happening and not just
Mm-hmm.
being part of who's clicking. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, to go to the next one.
Yes.
Okay. Share some different strategies to secure a comfortable budget for film. Share your method to
Yeah,
develop a budget
that's
and how to find funds for the budget. Well, we kind of touched on that.
we
So, is
did.
there anything specific that you want to know?
No, we covered everything.
Yeah, Monique, you
Nope,
good?
I'm
Okay.
good on that.
All righty. So now let's see what some of this other stuff. This is a question that was presented. What filmmaker opportunity for a independent filmmaker can do during the lockdown?
Keep creating stories. You have the perfect opportunity. Find what inspires you. If it's sitting outside on your front porch, hearing the birds outside, if it's the stillness inside the room, if it's the crowded noise with the kids and the wife or the boyfriend, the girlfriend, and the chaos is going on,
Mm-hmm.
that's moments that you can create.
Mm-hmm.
Contact different people you would want to work with or have worked with. You work with
Mm-hmm.
certain crew members or actors, like what we're doing, get on with them, make sure they're okay. You can even share you're working on some things that's coming. And, when this is all over with, you want them to be good and ready to go. Just keep
Mm-hmm.
that communication going. That's what I would say.
Awesome. Monique?
I agree with that. I mean, basically, this is just a time for us to really hone in on what we're trying to do and stay focused and just really create. You
Okay.
know, like I said, I was going to work to create when I realized, like, you got way more time now. You better get on that computer.
Yeah. Well,
But
one
you
of the
know,
things
when we live in such a structured lifestyle, sometimes this is just like thrown as, I mean, it's been a few days where I'm like, okay, what day is it?
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's Tuesday? Oh, I thought it was Saturday.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
trying to get back on that horse and okay, the structure is gone, but you got to recreate the structure so you can keep moving.
Yeah.
That's good. I like the way you said that.
Hmm.
Recreate the structure. That's nice. Well,
Hmm.
one of the things I like to put out there, and that is that way you can make some money and you can be creative. There's this website called Tongal.com. That's TONGAL.com. They have writing contests. They have corporate companies where you can do commercials, submit for. They have all kinds of mentorship programs that you can involve yourself in. That's a way that you can get, do stuff to make some money.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I wanted to put in on that. So that way you can make money at the same time of filming what works for you.
Mhm.
Okay.
So put that
That's
on
just
the
my
list.
cell phone. Okay. Now, are we okay on that one? I can move on.
Repeat that website.
TONGAL.com. It's called Tongo.com. Actually, I've posted on my page several times, so you can find the link on my page. I've posted the links for filmmaking. I've posted links for, there's some people that can't make no money right now. A customer service program called thearise.com, where you can do customer service from home, where you can work for like airlines or Comcast or Carnival, places like that, and just do customer service from your home phone. Okay, so that's on my
Interesting.
page as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, am I good to go to the next question?
Yes.
Okay. What advice would you give to a teenager? Um, and my answer to that is same advice as I give to an adult actor. Hone in on your talent and work it. Anything you want to add to that?
I would say to them getting to, and is this for an actor or for a filmmaker?
This is our actor. I'm sorry.
I would definitely say start early and to get into a film class if you can. But right now we're in isolation. YouTube is your best friend.
There you
YouTube
go.
have acting classes, monologue classes, introduction to acting, acting for the camera. It's on YouTube. Study. Talk to people who have done plays you've been to, who have done, different groups on Facebook. Actors helping actors. There are hundreds of different groups on Facebook. Listen,
Mhm.
watch, and just
Mhm.
work hard.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't even realize they had acting classes on there. But
Mhm.
I think that being that YouTube is available for everybody, there is nothing, even if it was to learning how to screw in the smallest screw with the tiniest screwdriver, I'm sure that everything on there that we want to learn is on there. So it's just really about finding it. But I didn't even know they had the acting stuff on there.
Yeah,
I'm
they do.
gonna look at that because even as an actor, when you kind of get behind the camera and you become a little more behind the camera, you have to every now and then you got to take workshops where you keep your
Right.
chops up
That's
because
right.
I despise when I read a line and it sounds like I'm reading.
Mhm.
So you have to work on how many different ways can I say this line? And
Mm-hmm.
then that comes in with rehearsing, practicing, being able to. I look at acting as it's really you being you, but just saying somebody else's lines in a sense. So the same way I'm delivering my lines now could be something that was written. So I need to be able to deliver it the way I would deliver it as a real person, unless there's a specific direction. But I've done stuff and I said that don't even sound right to me. That doesn't even sound like what I would say.
Mhm.
So staying on top of your chops, uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
practicing. Even the best actors got to take acting classes here and there.
Absolutely. Denzel will slide into an acting class and they don't even know he coming. And
Okay.
because the muscle, you have to work that
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah.
And a good way to remember lines, it's a technique to memory.
Yeah.
Those soap opera actors, they get their script the day of set. They may have an hour to look at a 10-page set and they better have them lines down. And so
Okay.
it's the muscle you have to work. So yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then I would just say, practice your memory skills. How do you take a script to actually memorize it? Get a style that you need to develop. How do you purpose to remember your lines? Because
Yeah.
some sets you're not going to have the opportunity to do it more than one or two. Like Clint Eastwood, you do it 2 times and he's saying cut next. So you may get filmmakers that will be like, okay, I ain't got time to waste. This is money. You better know how
Right.
to memorize those lines. And so it really depends on the type of filmmaker you work with. You got filmmakers that are patient enough to work with you to let you get through it. Then you got
Yeah.
some filmmakers just like, this is money. We're gonna do 2 takes. Boom, we out. Um,
Right.
uh, be creative in finding ways to market your talent and build your name as a brand. One of the things I like to suggest actors to do is take advantage of your social media. Create a page, whether it's Instagram, Facebook. Create a page that is your brand, where you don't post all your personal stuff, where
Mhm.
and then take your cell phone and use it to create monologues. Take scenes from movies you like and just do a monologue on it, and then post it to your Facebook, so that can become your audition. Because sometimes I know my filmmakers that are my mentors, they literally go through actors' pages. If I post an actor, they literally go to their page to see what their page is like, and that
Hmm.
determines if they're going to bother to work with them or not.
Right. It
I do the
sets the
same thing.
tone of what type of person they are.
Right.
Right. And I
Yeah.
do that as well now that I've learned it from them. And then instead of, putting your personal relationship on there about you're mad at your boyfriend or husband or whatever gone wrong, try not to put those kind of things on that
Yeah.
particular
I
page.
never do that.
Keep it focused in on your talent, your skills, what you're doing, what projects you're on, and use it to promote projects that you're in. Submit auditions whether you're thinking you're going to get it or not. Because sometimes you can submit an audition in for a particular character, and that filmmaker might see you for another character. So don't submit thinking you got to get this one role, and and allow yourself to be open to be cast for any role. Because if you're an actor, your mindset should be, "Shoot, I can deliver any type of role, period." Because you're willing to make whatever adjustments to deliver that character.
Right.
And trust and believe in your talent. Confidence in you delivering a role means more than your skill. So keep that in mind as well. Well, however that filmmaker is looking for that role to be, you have to have confidence that you can deliver it and you can make it believable. So as a teenager, or even as an adult or older senior, whatever role position you see yourself, the most important thing is, honing in on what talent you have to present to any filmmaker, to whatever character it is. And don't be don't be afraid to do a role that don't have no lines. I have an actor, he is magnificent in delivering a role with no lines. And stay in the mirror, practice facial expression. So when you're delivering a line, you know what your face looks like. And one of the things I like to end with on that area for actors, and that is slow down. Stop rushing through lines and trying to film quickly. Because if you can take a moment to pause through your line and give an emotion along with the line and the facial expression, let your face make a statement. That will make you so magnificent as an actor, that will give that character you're playing feelings instead of just you just did a role. That's my tip on acting. Anything else before we move on? Okay, here we go. Share about your creative process. How do you decide the project you want to work on, and then give some tips on actors and and the value and etiquette. Hope I said that right. Did you get that? I need to read that again.
Read it one more time.
Okay. Share about your creative process. How do you decide on the project or the projects you're going to work on? And then give some information. I'm adding to give information. Actors and the value and the etiquette. I guess they're really saying is, what values you may be, this is me reading into it. For actors, what value do you give into, or what's important from an actor, and then their etiquette on set. That's something I can think that's what they mean. Because I don't remember who wrote this one, so I don't know.
Okay. Now for me, I'm gonna film my projects. I love collaborating with other people, but for me and my project, stories that I've written, one thing is, from an actor, just be professional. Even if this may be your first project you're auditioning for, that's fine. I love help developing actors, but it's all in the attitude behind it. If you have a willingness and you want to learn, first of all, you're somebody who did really well in your audition. They got my attention, and I can see you in this role, and I cast you. I want you to, anytime we have a table read, you're going to be there. You're going to be on time. You're going to be at that call time on time. You're going to be ready to go. You're going to know the script, know the lines, and please and thank you. That goes a long way. So I think it's your attitude. That's big with me. I'd rather work with somebody who's not well known or who's new coming in, but have a heart, willing to, a team player, ready to work, take direction well, than somebody who's done a couple of projects, but come in with the attitude, can't get along with people, talking to folk crazy, being disrespectful. Come in with a humble heart and come in with drive, and you're ready. Being preparation is big for me.
Man, you just took that out of my brain. Thank you. It's good.
Yeah, you said it all.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, then I'll end that part of just adding to that, of just saying, when you seek for the opportunity, stay grateful for the opportunity, just like it was at the beginning. Throughout, just be grateful for the same opportunity that's been given you, that you don't take it for granted or abuse it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty, but then look like we got two more, no, three. Okay. When did you know you were a entertainer or wanted to be in entertainment?
Monique, you go ahead and start on that one.
Well, mine goes all the way back to being a little girl,
Uh-huh.
singing as a little kid. We come from families where, when company comes over, you got to be in front of the company. And my grandparents years ago were, my grandmother was an Eastern Star and my grandfather was a Mason. And so we would always go to Fresno during the summer. And I can remember we stayed in dorms and I was probably about 7. And I can remember this is around the time of Good Times was like a big show.
Yes.
And the teenagers, they were probably 12, 13, 14, whatever. There was the penny part, when her mama was burning her with the iron. And so for whatever reason, they knew I could do that part. And they had me do the part. No, mama. And, the mom was like, I knew you'd go in there. I knew that's why I liked it in the first place. So whatever, I did the whole penny thing. And I can remember after I did it, they were like, do it again, do it again. And not too long ago, that thought came back to me. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So ever since I was little. But then I also, grew up singing. I have a best friend and we grew up having concerts with the red light in the bedroom with the pencil, singing Fire and Desire back in the 80s. And right out of high school, that same friend knew a filmmaker. We started doing shorts. Long story short, we were on a short film with him. We had on these dresses and somebody's like, y'all look like In Vogue. Okay, so the light bulb went off. We formed a group, became a singing group. And so I've been in 15,000 singing girl groups. The last group that I was in, we sang for Dwayne Wiggins. And he said, man, you guys sound good, but I just signed these girls. And so he pulls out these 8x10 pictures and plays their music. Oh my God, we were good, but they were great. They were like 13, 14 years old. I'm about 23. That was Destiny's Child.
Oh, wow.
So I had been in several situations in singing groups where I was, just about there. But then when the groups didn't work out, I ended up realizing once again that writing was my thing. And so I went back into writing for a couple of magazines. And long story short, I was writing for magazines and doing all kind of interviews. And at that time, my daughter was really young. And I can remember her coming up to me like, Mommy, are you going out again tonight? So I ended up taking a hiatus. Long story short, when I got back into it around 2012 is when I decided, like, if you're going to do it, you got to go full throttle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always been in me. It's always been there. I took a break from it at my peak. While I interviewed John Legend before he got his first Grammy. Like I went over to his hotel and sat with him. I interviewed Ice Cube. He was my first interview. And after I interviewed him, I said, now if I can interview Ice Cube, I can interview anybody.
Right.
So you go in there and you kind of look like the video girl, but when you open your mouth, it's a whole nother story. It's all about business. I'm not trying to hook up with you. I don't care where your hotel is.
Right.
None of that. So I've done a little bit of everything. And so I never, I saw myself retiring as a singer at age 30. Yeah, here we are 5 years later, of course. God had other plans for me. He led me to be a filmmaker. I never, actress is what I thought I was going to be. But he broadened, he opened my window up even bigger than I could see it.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
there were so many things that led me here.
Yeah.
Your story is a story. Write your story. That is a
You
story.
know what? I wrote a book, but I haven't done anything with it. It's still just typed up. But my book is called Get There Then. And let me tell you where I got this advice. When I was singing back in the day, I was singing behind Roy Ayers, me and one of the girls I sang with. And we were at a club in San Jose. And I think at that time, Roy was already done, and Roger and Zach were getting ready to go on. And I was outside of the club, and Roger walked up and with his band, and the band all went in, and he was standing outside for a minute. And so I was like, I did my whole chatter about how I'm a singer, and I want to be a singer, and how I want to have the success as you. I sound like the girl on Coming to America who wants to produce and write. And I mean, I went on and on and on and on and on. And he looked at me and he said, "We'll get there then," and turned around and walked in the club and left me standing there. And I was like, wow, like how rude was that? That was so rude. Like, he could have just said, "Thank you, baby, enjoy the show." But what he taught me was, it took me a couple of years to get that lesson. Don't nobody want to sit up and hear about you talking about what you want to do and want to be.
Especially when they know they're working hard themselves to get to where they want to be.
Right.
Get there then. And that's the title of my book. And it talks about my journey.
Yes, I love it. I
love
it.
Say it differently. That's what I mean about the due diligent part. You can't come in and expect me to tell you all that I've done to get what I've accomplished.
Right.
And then you come in at the tail end trying to get a piece of it. No, go do your own due diligence. That's when I'm like, you want to network with me? You need to tell me what networking means to you. Because what it means to me is probably different. Are you trying to come to network so you can get in the middle? Or you come to network so you can add something to it?
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's
exactly.
interesting.
That's great. For me, your story is so similar because when I was 5 years old, honey, Good Times was my show.
Okay.
I love Thelma. And my mother, all my friends in the neighborhood back in the 70s, you can play out in the street past the street light. And I would go out there and I would say, "Okay, I'm Thelma, you're playing this, you're playing that, you're playing Jay." I mean, it's like I was directing them, and then we had commercial breaks we went to, and we came back with the show. And all the way up into high school, I mean, I was a person who always was performing, always was acting. It was just, my mother saw it, it was in me. And I also did creative dance. So I love the School of Fame in New York, the School of Performing Arts. I thought that I would end up being either an actress or a dancer. 1984, graduated from Brighton High School. The Jackson 5 did their last tour in Knoxville. I was at that concert, and that's when they first introduced the Jumbotron, the big TV, the big screens.
Right.
When I tell you the way Michael Jackson performed, and I'm hollering and yelling, but the way he connected through, it was hundreds and thousands of people, but it was like he was talking directly to you, like you and him. It's just you and him. And I thought, oh my God, I want that connection with people. I want to be able to translate what I say and what I do and how I move. And that started that career of my acting. I met my husband in 1985. We got married in 1990, had my son 1995. I took a break. My husband said, well, when he turned 13, my husband said, "You loved acting. It's time for you to go."
Aww.
And so I started back with theater, then the films, television, and writing and filmmaking. And that's where I am.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Good, great stories, ladies. Wow. Well, I never wanted to be an actor or anything like that. So my story's totally different. I always knew I was a behind the scene kind of girl. For me, now I have done like the variety plays in school and singing performances and stuff like that in school. But those were things that I got pushed out pretty much to do. I was always like, I wanted to work behind the set. And one of the things I recognize that happened for me when I look back now, when I was a little girl, I used to take TV shows and actually record them on the little cassette tape, and then I would go to bed and sleep to them. And I would
Wow.
and I would visualize the actors' performances and the story that was being told. And even to this day, my mom's got a box where different shows like the Rookies and Good Times and the Jeffersons, I recorded pretty much all those shows on cassette tapes, and then I play them and go to sleep to them. And so now what I recognize that I do, and I got tickled about it one time when I'm filming, I literally close my eyes and I visualize the performance of the actors doing the scenes that I've written.
Okay.
And even in my casting, when I look at the actor, I literally visualize them performing that role, and that helps me to know they can literally do that role. So mine's is kind of behind the scenes like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was my inspiration right there. So I'm always the filmmaker, never the actor. I've done a couple of acting things. I didn't do too bad, but nah, believe it or not, y'all probably don't want to believe it, but I am pretty shy. So yeah, I am. Yeah.
Most entertainers actually are shy.
Yeah, that's what I keep
So
hearing.
rare.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess can make this I guess we can make this is the last one. Because the other ones are pretty much in general of what we have already talked about. This one I'm picking because I got it kind of broken down. Budget to a film. What is an average budget? Budget is determined to me to the need of the project. My advice is first create a list of what you need. Your cast, how many cast members to the characters, your location, your craft, the design of your set. It's not how much money, it's what do you need to get to the completed project. So just make sure that if you're going to work behind the scene as a filmmaker, girl, what you doing? If you want to, she's like she's chasing something. If you want to be a filmmaker, know what you need to get the film done, and then build from there. If you want to be an actress, then study the craft of an actor. You may not be able to afford a film school or anything like that, but you got plenty to go by. Like Sheila said earlier, you can go to YouTube and watch all kinds of descriptions of how to be a better actor. But I'll say study Denzel Washington, Sidney Poitier, Leslie Uggams, Cicely Tyson. Go back and study those. Marlon Brando, Paul Newman. Go study those actors because they're the beginning of what made us want acting anyway. And study how they did it, and then build and come to the current actors. I think I said it early on. The biggest thing I like to tell actors to do: slow down, stop rushing. Because the camera picks up on everything. And if you're a stage actor changing over to a film actor, lower the tone of your voice. You're not talking to an audience of a lot of people. You're just talking to the camera. So you don't have to scream. You don't have to talk loud. I'll put it this way, make love to the camera.
Yes.
Pretend like that camera is intimate to you and make love to it with your eyes, with your tone of voice, with your body language. And, take that camera and tilt it down and say, hey, and then just pause with it. And then look at actors acting like that, taking your time to embrace the character you are and embrace the character you're working with, and then give that actor that you're working with time to respond. So don't be so quick to cut them off before they get their lines in, and then make sure that you're making love together.
Ooh,
Acting
yeah,
it, making love together until you come into sync.
yeah.
And when you come into sync, you'll fit like a perfect glove.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, is there anything else, ladies, you would like to add?
Yeah, they talked about budget. I also want to say, when you're doing your budget, like Tanae said, don't look at the dollar, look at what you need. I am a proud member of Goodwill.
Of who?
Goodwill. You
Oh,
know, the
Goodwill. Okay.
Goodwill, you can find props. You
Mm-hmm.
can find, if you have an actor that need a period piece or something different that they don't have, that you don't have the budget, you go look through Goodwill.
Yeah.
Goodwill have dresses and gowns. They have dresses, they have gowns. You get older women that donate older gowns from certain periods, you know, like
Right.
the
For,
60s,
for a
70s,
little bit of not, and for a little bit of no money on top of that.
Yeah.
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 a little bit of nothing. All you have to do is just watch it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
watch it to make sure it's safe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But Goodwill is a good, and I'm just going to share this real quick.
Mhm.
I shot my film Treasure, and I used my living room. Trust me, we filmmakers, any means necessary, okay? So I
Mhm.
used different parts of my home, different areas in Chattanooga, parks and things. But I was promised by a friend that I could use their living room to shoot another scene. Well,
Mhm.
I mean, when it came time, they had amnesia, like they didn't know what I was talking about. So
I
at
know
the
that's right.
I couldn't use their place. So I'm like, okay, God, give me what I need. And it so happened I was in Walmart picking up something, and God said, you're going to use the same living room. You shot another house, but we're going to change the decor. So I went about a different couch cover. I went to Goodwill and changed the different paintings that was on the wall.
I
I
know
put
that's right.
props in the room. It looked like a completely different living room of somebody
Wow.
for
Right.
under $30. I was
There you
able
go.
to create that. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just on that budgeting, you can do it.
And just,
Yeah.
and just piggyback off of what she said, you can always write your script to a location, and you can always film outside. So if it turns out where you can't do it inside, I've had some broken promises on property locations too. So I understand that. I just rewrote the
Mhm.
script and then just filmed it outside.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's the lines and the delivery that the actor gives you. It doesn't really matter where the location is.
Location.
And
Yeah.
you're so you have such great imaginations as filmmakers and actors anyway.
Mhm.
You are so creative that it doesn't matter where it is.
Sure.
So yeah, that
Right.
was beautiful. Thank you for that. Anything else,
Mhm.
ladies?
Oh, you know what? Also, there are a lot of the Ivy League colleges that are offering free classes. I'm taking a script writing class and I'm taking a personal branding class.
Mm.
So just putting that out there when we're talking about personal branding, because what I'm learning is personal branding is not necessarily arrogance. You know how some people think that you're always talking about yourself and you promoting yourself. There's a difference in branding and arrogance. So I'm taking a personal branding class because at one time I was posting a lot of stuff about my journey and what I was doing. And then one actor I heard say, you shouldn't be posting everything. I don't post everything I do because I don't need people knowing everything I do. It's kind of like that. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. But then at the same time, I stopped kind of posting, period, about my journey. And I ran into a girl that I went to school with, and she was like, you stopped posting. What happened? I was following your journey. And I was like, oh, you really, you were, you want me to post more? She was like, yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
And so trying to find, again, that comfort of It's okay to promote yourself, branding what you're doing. That does not mean that, I think I'm this or I think I'm that. But okay, it's okay to think you this and that too at the same time.
I was just
But
about to
I
say,
think
don't care.
you,
She's
sometimes
on your
people
page,
get
though. She's on your
but,
page. You're watching.
right. But people, because of Facebook and Instagram, people get so entrenched in it. And what I mean is, one time I was on my way to work. At this time I was doing a lot of filming. I was going on, doing extra work on these sets because that's when I was really learning about how all this works. And I ran into a friend that I went to school with, and he was like, "Yeah, where you on your way to?" And I was like, "I'm on my way to work." And he was like, "You on your way to another set?" And I was like, "No, I'm actually on my way to work." So, if you see me on set,
Your volume.
Bring your volume up.
if you see me on set, because I posted it on Facebook, it kind
Monique,
of, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
you sound too far away.
I don't know what's going on with the phone. How about now? Now?
It sounds
Now try
distorted.
it. Now try it.
Okay, now?
That's better.
Okay.
Maybe your hand was over to something because you became muffled.
Yeah.
But the thing was that as I was promoting myself or showing myself on Facebook, the images that people were expecting was, hey, you already made you in Hollywood. So then to see me going to my regular job, it was kind of like, I thought you made it. And so I just kind of stopped showing a lot of stuff because I didn't want people to be confused. But then there were some people that was like, why you stop posting about what you're doing? So there's a fine line that I'm trying to figure out when it comes to posting what you're doing for support versus branding. I don't know if that makes any sense. What I'm trying to say
It
is,
really became clear there. That's good.
I work. I work. People know I work. They know I still do what I do. I'm a filmmaker. That's just different. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a filmmaker, director, and I work a job. Now, when God blessed me that I could walk away from that job, because I still have to pay bills, but I have to work. But I have a job that's very flexible. Anytime I need to shoot, I go off a week or so, go shoot, do what I need to do. But they know that. So I'm not worried about how people perceive what I am. I know what I am. And it's just amazing to me how people come to our pages, follow us, but so quick to say, well, I saw you on that commercial. Would you still going to a job? And my thing is, until Steven Spielberg called me and say, Sheila, I want to pay you this $50 million contract to do this.
right,
I'm going to do what I'm doing, do what I love, put my work out there, push what I'm doing, and still doing what I need to eat, to pay my bills.
right. So it's okay to still personal brand yourself and where you're going on your journey. Absolutely. While you're still working that 9 to 5 or that 8 to 4.
Because that 9 to 5 is going to get you to where you need to go.
The whole time I was filming Rough Patch Twisted Fate, I was working at Target. I was going to Target at 5 a.m. in the morning, getting off at 10 o'clock and filming the rest of the day.
Right.
And in addition to that, I was living in a hotel the whole time I was filming. I was posting that. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. If you read into me to be more than what I am, that's your issue. That's not mine. Exactly. I'm just telling you my journey. I'm not posting for your opinion. I'm posting because I'm just sharing where I'm at. Right. That's all it is to it. So I don't get caught up in people's personal thoughts or opinion about who I am or what I do. Because tell your story and what are you doing? If you're following my page that closely, then you ain't got a story.
That's
and
right.
You're trying to judge mine.
There you
I ain't got time to give you that energy for your judgment, because you're going to judge no matter what. I love you, but I can't live my life to your judgment. So the goal is, who are you? Present you your honest truth, because I also look at it this way. When God opens up that door that makes me big and recognizable, I want me to be shown as authentic as I possibly can be. So when I am big, they don't go back and look for a story that was like fake. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
So
Absolutely.
I've even posted several times, and I do it every once in a while because sometimes people get so caught up in what I'm doing now that they forgot I had a struggle. Now, I praise God, I'm in a position now that I don't have to be at Target. Thank you, Jesus. You know,
Mhm.
but at the beginning, I was working Target, begging for hours just so I can make enough money to pay my hotel for the week to week. I was living from week to week trying to film a project.
Right.
And I was taking what extra money I had, as you said earlier, to feed the cast, praying to God bless me to get home because I didn't have enough gas money to get not only there but to get back home.
Mm-hmm.
I remember stopping at a filling station begging for somebody to give me $2 or $3 just so I could put it in my gas tank just so I can get home.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm telling you, if you talk to even Spike Lee or any of these big names, they've done all that we're doing. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, there's some of them that are doing it now. They've had their one hit wonder with a recognized name, but they're broke. There's even actors that are considered listers, but they don't have enough projects going right now, casting them to keep up the lifestyle that they've been presented.
Yeah.
you know. And Alfred Wood, I really learned from Alfred Woodford. I can't pronounce her name, sorry. But I know you know who I'm talking about. The
Yeah, I love
actress.
it.
She still lives in the same house she started acting in 40 years ago.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah.
So, she says it all the time. Stay below your means.
A modest house.
Yeah, you might get a big that may get you recognition. You might even get a big check, but it might be 20 years before you get another.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just never know. That's when I'll be like, don't get caught up in you being a superstar, recognized name or face, because you don't know when that next hit's going to come for you to be recognized. And that's what I admire about Taraji P. Henson. She was never about the paycheck, and she stated, Tyler Perry gave her her very first big check,
Mm.
and he gave it to her out of respect for her talent. But all these other projects, and we see her in a lot of projects, but she
Right.
wasn't getting paid big money for those projects. Some of those projects she did it just to hone in on her talent and
Mhm.
just gets enough work out there to show her talent.
Right. Right.
So she wasn't getting big money until Tyler Perry. There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of actors out there, black and white. It's not a colored thing. There's only so many filmmakers. There's only so many filmmakers that are in a position to put your film on TV or in the theater. So you can chase them if you want to, but why not work with who's willing to work with you, get some work done, paid or
Mhm.
not, just so you can at least hone your talent
Absolutely.
and just be grateful for the benefits that they're able to give you. And you're helping each other. You're helping yourself because you're an actor, you get to perform your talent, and you're
Right.
helping the filmmaker get a project done. And here's
Right.
the thing I try to point out to some actors, and that is you don't know where God's going to take that filmmaker. They may
Right.
not look like they got it together right now,
That's
but you
right.
don't know where they're going to be later. And Martin Scorsese, I can't pronounce his name either, sorry.
Of course,
But
score.
he has
Yeah.
his favorite actor, which is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Ron Howard, his actor is Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
You have Steven Spielberg, and his actor is Tom Hanks.
Mm.
And Tom Hanks and what's the Mission Impossible? Tom Cruise. Those are their favorite actors. Why? Because at the beginning they respected their talent enough to stick with them. So when they started getting the bigger projects, they went back and they went and started working with those actors. By
Mm-hmm.
them going to work with those actors, then they became bigger names through getting visual
Right.
performances for work. So just because we're not big names does not mean one day our project may not be.
Absolutely.
So, so we have to somehow find this circle to stop judging where we think each other should be and just respect that we are just being
Right.
and get the work done and get it out there and promote. Promote yourselves. Don't be afraid of it. And then and hopefully your actors will promote you too. I got this thing now that if I have worked with actors and they're not promoting, I'm not working with them again. I'm just not, because if you can't, if you shame, like God said, if you shame of me, I need to be shame of you.
All right.
Right.
If you shame that my name is on your project that you begged to be on, to perform and accepted that character role enough that you don't want to promote it, then you don't want to work with me no more. Or
Right.
why should I recast you? Oh, I think she just went and got a pen to write that down.
I got a camera to take our picture.
Oh, you taking our picture?
Yeah.
Oh.
Got it.
So she's gonna go post. Hey, I just did a group with some filmmakers.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
girl.
share your post, and I'm gonna share your post.
Oh, well, thank you. No, you can go ahead and post. You do your thing.
Okay.
I'm okay with it all. I'm gonna post this soon as I get, I'm gonna go through it a little bit, make sure we got good and fine tuned on some things, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna post it too. I was gonna do it live, but like I said, I just didn't want to mess up. And I've just figured I'd just post it later on.
Yeah.
Being Easter Sunday, I didn't think anybody really was wanting to do this, let alone watch it. So I like to say thank you, ladies, for sharing your time, your talent, your skills, your knowledge. I've been blessed by the things that you shared. So thank you for sharing with me, and thank you for allowing me to do this with you.
Well, thank
I
you for
appreciate it.
I've
Okay.
never stopped learning. So thank you.
Yes,
You
I
are welcome.
definitely appreciate it.
You betcha. So before we end this, is there anything else that you'd like to cover or say? Like tell about your pages, where how people can find you, if you're
Okay.
tapped for any project, all those kind of things. Okay.
Okay. So, hey guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We want you to have all the tools you need. You can find me on Facebook. I'm Shelia Wofford, Wofford. You can go to my website, www.sheilawofford.com. You can also go to my film company website, livetoinspireproductions.com.
That's beautiful. Do you have an
Yeah.
Instagram?
Oh, yes. I have an Instagram at Shelia Wofford and Twitter, Shelia Wofford, all the same name. And
Okay,
look,
when we get a chance, let's get us tagged in on all that stuff too, because I think I only got you on Facebook.
okay. And listen, don't spell my name the wrong way. People spell my name two different ways.
Well, I
Shelia.
see Wofford.
First name Shelia.
Sheila. Okay.
Wofford. Okay.
Okay. And I am Monique Dismuke, actress on Facebook. And on Instagram, I am Mo_rights, because I am Mo and we need more rights as I write. So that's my IG, and Monique Dismuke, actress on Facebook. So this was definitely a pleasure, ladies. The information and just the support, I just feel so much more determined and confident just having this conversation with you all on this Easter Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Under quarantine.
I know, under quarantine. This
We got it
COVID-19
done.
did put a damper in some stuff, but that's okay. We're making it work for us, so that's good.
We are.
Let's talk to
Absolutely.
you later soon.
You're welcome. And I'm Simplicity. I am just Tone Brown. And everything on mine is just Filmmaker Tone Brown across the board, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or my Instagram. I'm just trying to stay consistency so you don't try to have to worry about if you got the right Tone, because I know there's
Right.
different Tonys, so the same way my name is. So just to keep it simple, I do Tone Brown with either filmmaker or producer behind it. All right, ladies, well, thank you again for sharing this time in your schedule with me,
Yes.
making it possible. I would love to do it again. So got other questions, other things that you'd like to, you know, communicate going forward, just shoot me a message and say, hey, this is what I'd like us to be able to do and cover.
Sounds
Fair enough?
good.
Good.
All right, ladies, thank
Thanks,
you
ladies.
again so much.
Thank you,
Bye.
ladies. Okay, bye-bye.
Monet out. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
I got to figure out how to pick it up. There we go. Well, I see you, but I can't figure out. There we go. Okay, I hang it up. Oh, I'm using the wrong one. That's why.